Hey guys, it's us here, MADMAN, with our 23rd MADMAN Podcast, your home for all the latest and hottest gaming and nerd culture news for the week and beyond. I'm MADMAN, and I'm going to be discussing the many topics for today's show with our panel, CMoney and Doodle.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, howdy, hey.
Yes.
Another
we
week.
are here.
Another MADMAN Podcast.
Yes.
Exciting
right.
times.
I'm pumped.
So we got quite a few topics, and they are some bangers. We got some good ones over here.
For
yeah, absolutely.
sure.
I mean, this has been a week that's not like crazy busy with news. You know, we're coming up to the holiday. Christmas
But
is
still
right around the corner.
juicy.
But the stuff that's there is still
Who's
has some meat
excited
on the
for
bone.
the holidays?
Yeah.
I'm freaking
All
pumped.
right, let's
Yeah,
go.
I am pumped. It came so fast. I feel like it's gonna be here before we know it. And then
Oh, we've been busy.
we have been
Busy.
bees. We have been busy.
So,
We've obviously we've continued to grow the channel, which we're feel very excited for and thankful for.
yes.
Everybody who listens and subscribed and shares this out. So we do appreciate you. We put up a few videos, some shorts, but we put up a few videos since the last podcast, and we got some in the pipe. So one of the big ones we definitely just put up was the Callisto Protocol gameplay part 3. We like this game a lot.
Yes, that was so
We
fun.
like this game a lot. It's when you do the first couple, it's kind of like getting a feel for it. Like, am I really gonna like this? But it's just like it's really good, man.
It just comes to you as you're playing. Like you just react with the remote. I told you this before.
Yeah, like it's crazy because you grabbed the remote and you were like instantly right back into it.
Yes.
And it was a little while since part 2. And like even when I grabbed the remote, I was like, oh,
what do I
shit. Like,
press?
what
I
button
was
is this?
talking you through
Yeah,
it.
you were
Remember?
walking me through it, which is cool. So like
Never before, by the way.
hey,
This is
but
the
that's
first.
to show you. Like this is it's a really dope
Never
game.
have I ever talked
have I
CMoney
ever
through the
helped
remote,
CMoney.
the
Oh, yeah.
controller buttons.
Remember controllers.
Keep an eye out for more Never Have I Evers. Should I say High on Life? Yes.
Yeah, so we have
Yes.
a few that
That's
we're
right,
going to be
Madman.
putting up that we've already recorded. We got High on Life that's going to be coming up soon. We did the first hour gameplay there.
Now, I did stay, MADMAN. When we did that, I was like, yo, MADMAN will love this
Yes,
game. I
it's
need you
definitely
to
a
try
MADMAN
it.
joint.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
I have seen plenty of TikToks of it, and the game is hilarious. I am a fan of Rick and Morty, and it literally looks like if Rick and Morty was a video game, which
Yep.
it's pretty epic.
Yeah, it's really good and it looks fantastic. I mean, we play it on PC.
It
Ultra
does. I
4K.
think it's underrated.
Yeah, the graphics are underrated for sure.
Yes.
The game's
The
underrated.
game looks phenomenal. It does a lot of, it's very creative, artistically creative. And I appreciate what they did. You literally can watch a movie on the TV.
Yeah, you can watch an entire movie.
Yeah, of the
supposedly
game.
there's like multiple movies, I think. It's not just one.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really dope. So we did that. That's going to be coming up shortly, very soon. Then we have another big game that just got a amazing update,
Oh my gosh.
which
This
is
is CMoney's dream come
my
true.
dream come true. Ever since the show came out, I had a glimmer of hope. I said, "Oh my God, is this my chance to introduce her to the world of The Witcher
Hey.
in gaming form?" And yeah, so we
it
have
finally happened, guys.
Yeah, we have a nice first hour gameplay of that, and it is stunning.
Oh my
Witcher 3
God.
Wild Hunt.
Stunning.
Doodle has officially played it.
I
She
have.
has.
MADMAN is gorgeous.
After her love of The Witcher was born through Netflix, thank you, Netflix. Hashtag Netflix is the shit. After that love was born, this was my opportunity to get her to experience it. And, there's some reveals of what she learned and what she feels. But
listen,
you gotta watch it. You gotta
unexpected.
watch it.
Unexpected.
So,
I wasn't expecting that I would
So-
feel. I know.
So that's going to be going up shortly as well. And then as a kind of a curveball for us.
Yes. Very different.
We said, you know what? It was getting a little, it got great reviews, right off the rip. And it got a little hype at the Game Awards, even though it didn't win anything. And
So curiosity got the best
yeah,
of
it
us.
was like, super curious just to check it out. So we tried out Immortality
we did.
on Game Pass, which was
Did it win anything, guys?
I don't think it won. No.
Okay.
Nah, unfortunately, no.
It had a lot of competition, but the person who made Immortality did Her Story, and that one won.
Yeah. I think it was Best Games for Impact, I think.
The last and Best Narrative or something like that.
Maybe.
It was a big winner, I know, in that Game Awards when it came out. But yeah, so we were kind of saying, you know what, let's try it. And, before we even recorded, we were like, all right, if it's really bad, like we'll just do it for like 15 minutes or so. And just be like,
we were like done with it before we even started.
Yeah,
we were like,
we'll just be like, all right, well, this wasn't for us. Nice recording and done.
Sayonara.
But fun fact, we did a first hour gameplay.
Yeah, so I'm intrigued to see what you guys think, because like it we'll see. You'll see.
Yeah. So that'll be up soon. Definitely check it out when we put it up. But yeah, and then obviously we got Her, Him, and a Mic, our podcast where me and Doodle get to sit down and chat and Yellowstone, man. Another
Yellowstone.
episode.
It's coming to an end this season.
Yeah, we got a couple more episodes and it's gonna be sayonara.
Yes.
So how many? Wait, it's not even 10 episodes, right?
No, it's not 10 episodes. You would think it's gonna finish at 8, right?
Well, it said last 2 episodes coming up, and I hope that at least they do like a 2-hour. The last episode's like 2 hours squeezed in together, just like the first episode was.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
The first episode was not 2 hours. They just put 2 episodes together.
Yeah, it was episode 1 and 2.
Yeah, that is true. Yep. It was episode 1 and 2. Yes, thank you for that, because I didn't even remember. They tried to play me.
Yeah.
They did just do a back-to-back.
They did.
Yeah. So let's not do that. Let's just give us a nice full 2-hour episode.
At least a longer episode.
A longer, just a little more.
Longer than normal.
All right, but I'm excited for the drama. It's coming our way. For sure.
Absolutely.
MADMAN, so I see your comic mix over here.
Yeah, we got a couple comic mixes that we put up.
Gotta love the comic mixes.
So, those are throwbacks to the videos that we made kind of back in the day, earlier when the channel started.
What the comic mixes does is that it brings videos at the beginning. It was about bringing videos that were not in comic and basically giving them a comic look.
Yes.
Which, I mean, eventually in the normal Amiibo programming, we introduced the Comic Zone arc, and basically they were trapped in the Comic Zone, and basically now they are in the comics and everything's comic now. However, the comic could be a little less than pleasurable to the eyes, so basically what it does is that it fixes it to visually enhance the experience. And now in Amiibo videos, they are no longer in the comic, and be tuned for the 3rd chapter of the Ganon series, which will bring the epic Comic Zone arc to a conclusion. So yeah, we got some good stuff coming up.
All right.
Yeah, it's a lot of good stuff. It also helped, when we first started recording, the camera wasn't that great and the lighting wasn't that great.
Oh my gosh.
So the comic kind of helps smooth over some of like the really older ones that we did. But it's still either way.
It's all growing and learning and knowing what you need.
Yeah, the quality of the new videos are way better now.
Yes, by far.
Absolutely.
But guys, we're at 320
subscribers. We're at 320. We had a goal of hitting 300 by the end of November. We did it like 2 days out. We missed the goal by 2 days.
We missed it. And now we have a new goal for December.
350.
Hopefully.
By the end.
We're hoping, yes.
By the end of the year.
Yes.
So if you're listening to this and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It really would mean a lot to us. And if you're already subscribed, share it out to your friends. Help us out. Help us hit that big 350 number. That'll be
keep watching
awesome.
Our quality content.
Yeah, and just keep watching. We really appreciate it.
We do.
So also another little fun fact.
Oh, we're so excited!
Our girl over here, Purple Berry, on her channel,
Purple Berry Crafts,
started not too long ago.
Has crossed 100 subscribers.
Yes, she's at 109. She did it super quickly, actually, which was really, really cool. So shout out to Purple Berry Crafts. That's obviously Purple Berry. She does the voices of all the girl characters on the Amiibo videos that we do.
Yes.
And obviously she's part of our MADMAN Plays series. So she's there when we all play together.
And the editing and everything.
Yep. She edits all of our shorts that we put up and does that. So she's a big part of the channel and she's great.
She wanted to do something that was more of
Like her style.
Yeah, her style.
So
And
go over and give her a sub too if you
that would be
like to
awesome,
watch
and she would
short
appreciate
videos.
it very much.
If you're cool, you should do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
Oh,
she
yeah.
has a lot of videos. It's really a really nice channel. But yeah,
Very
aside
fussy.
from that, we're pumped for this week's topics.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm ready. Are you
I'm
ready?
ready.
Are you ready, man?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
I think you guys
So
are.
a big bombshell was dropped on us when Sony Pictures dropped the first full-length feature trailer for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the highly anticipated sequel to the Masterclass original. The first movie was super hype. It gave us a new perspective into Miles Morales and his character, and showed the upcomings of this very popular hero. And honestly, it was a huge game changer, especially in the field of animation. It forced people, it forced companies to break from that Pixar mold and try out new styles, which can be seen with the likes of the Bad Guys and it is Intergalactic and a bunch of other stuff that's coming out for these big companies that are much different than what was seen before in terms of animation. And now we're getting the big sequel, which is super, super exciting. I think the first trailer did a good job of telling us what the story is going to be and how Miles is going to grow in this story. The first one was about that, was basically the fact that anyone can wear the mask. And now this movie is about what do you do with the mask. So he and Spider-Gwen are clearly going through the Spider-Verse. And while the first movie was about the Spider-Verse coming to Miles' world, they are going into the vast multiverse of Spider-Man. Now, as you'll see in the trailer, they don't seem to take too kindly to him. Maybe there's motivations. Who knows? I don't know how he managed to piss off an entire multiverse, but yeah, he did. And I think that whether you were big on it or not, this is going to be something that is intriguing to see when it comes out. Do I think it'll be better than the original? Probably not. But I think that is a good shot, and it's a good take on the story and a good way to push it forward. So what do you guys think?
Doodle, you go ahead.
Well, I felt a little bit almost like, I mean, you can see right now, it looks pretty good, but I did feel when I first saw the preview, almost like if you guys remember like Wreck-It Ralph, and then they did the second movie and he was like, they just threw everything in there when they left, like they went to the internet or whatever, and everything was just thrown in. This feels so much like they just threw everything they could in there. So, I mean, it still has those unique elements. It kind of looks like a comic style, and obviously they're gonna do the whole thing, right, Madman, where they change artwork.
Oh yeah, there's
art styles.
they said there's gonna be 6 different art styles in this one alone. Across the Spider-Verse, it's not explicit anymore, but Across the Spider-Verse is a part 1. Meaning, you remember how Avengers Infinity War was one half, Endgame was the other?
Yes.
Well, it's starting with Across the Spider-Verse. The movie will not end completed until Beyond the Spider-Verse, which comes out in 2024.
Now,
So-
I was excited for the first one. I'm not necessarily like too thrilled with the preview. I watched the trailer and like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see it, or that's going to be really good.
Yeah. So I agree. This is the thing. And I know, look, you could look at it right here. There's like 28 million people who watched this trailer.
Oh, a
Just in
lot of
4
people are
days.
very excited.
So
the
there's
reactions were
there's
glowing.
There's a lot of people who are excited for this. I'm sure a lot of you who are listening to this are probably excited for this.
I watched this trailer 4
and
times.
I know Madman is obsessed with the idea of watching this.
I love, by the way, sorry to cut you off. This they put Stan Lee
Yeah,
in.
nice,
Oh, yeah.
nice
Yeah.
call out to
it's
him.
it's really cool.
He did manage to voice Stan Lee before he passed away in the original Spider-Verse.
Well, there's so many voice samples of him. I'm sure they can put together
Oh,
something if
squeeze
they
him in
wanted
somehow.
to.
But, yeah.
Oh, that's
um,
true.
But so this is the thing. I do not like. This is gonna be a hot take for sure. Because
Yeah.
I like. Obviously, again, a lot of people are really excited for this. I am not excited for what I saw. Like the different art styles, none of them look good to me.
Well, they only showed one.
Oh,
but
no, well, I mean, I'm seeing different art styles in here. So if you're saying this is all one art style,
well, no, they kind of they swept back to the original art style and this new one, and I think and there's like some of the heroes look a bit different than other ones.
Okay, but even like a scene right here, like this is nothing for me. I can straight up honest, nothing looks good about it to me.
So this is what annoys. Go ahead. Sorry.
I appreciate them not doing the identical thing, but I mean, I don't know. I can't. I've watched this trailer multiple times. Like you have expressed that you didn't like it before, and I don't know. I try to rewatch it to see if my opinion would change. I don't know. I feel like that it's not just a simple. Now they're making it look like a cartoon, like how they did with Space Jam 2. It's just that I feel like that. Like it looks like they took that oil. It looks like a very oil pastelish look, and they made the models, but highlighted them with the this sort of like pastelish look. If you look at Spider-Man 2099, he took off his mask. He looks like how he normally would look in that CGI style of the original, but they're almost laced in that basically make him pop more. And I think that it's commendable, and I think that it's visually striking. Even if you don't like it, it's eye-catching.
Just don't agree in any way, shape, or form. Like I cannot. Like I just watched it a couple times now, and I'm playing it back again. I just can't see
Try
it.
to find the
I'm trying to find what you're talking about, and this looks like baby cartoon stuff.
Baby cartoon.
Like yeah, it does. It doesn't look like an upgrade. Like if you go back and watch the other one looks like what should have been the part 2, and this is the part 1. But I can tell you right now, if this was the part 1, it would not be popping. If this was the first time,
there wouldn't have been a second movie.
There would not have been a second movie.
Now, also
they're getting too loose.
Yes, although they are bringing in different art styles, they also did that with the first one, and I feel like it's like okay, so they've done that before, so it's expected that they're going to do something like this.
Well, yeah, they did.
My annoyance with this,
that's just
well, yeah, not just cartoon. Like cartoon. It's not obviously if you look at like a real cartoon like Teen Titans Go or something like that. Obviously, this is gonna look miles better. But like it's a choice. It has the look.
I mean, obviously you like it, and that's fine. And again, there are 28 million people watched it. I'm sure there's plenty of fans who are so pumped to see this. Remember, I'm not a Spider-Man fan. So it has to look good to make me want to see it. Where you're going to look for the reasons why you like it.
Yes.
Right? Because you're a fan, right? Yeah. So you're looking for those reasons. As an outsider who doesn't care about Spider-Man, but loved the first one. What was it? Into the
Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse, right? I love that one. That one was great. This, I was really excited to watch the trailer when I first saw it. And I'm literally, there's really nothing about it. The only things that might stick out are when it looks like the original a little bit.
Like when they have Spider-Woman on a fucking motorcycle. Like, all right, I didn't expect that. And they have, if you really pay attention in the crowd of Spider-Man, you get to see Spider-Man PS4 from the game.
That's not that's
like a neat Easter egg.
Only exciting to somebody who cares about that, right? Like,
so my annoyance with this movie and this whole thing is that I feel like they don't want to just do Miles Morales.
Yeah, exactly.
The Spider-Man. It's annoying for me beyond belief because they did the last one and they threw in like even the other Spider-Man, old and fat, right?
Peter B. Parker.
And yes, so it's like,
oh shoot, he's a dad now. If you look in the beginning, he's in the movie. He has like a pink robe and he has like this pouch, which that just show that he and Mary Jane tied the knot and had a kid.
Yeah, but like for me, it's like let him just be Spider-Man.
Yeah, keep it pure. This is like the kitchen sink approach. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just trying to throw a bunch of shit in there.
Like the first movie did well, right? We all love Miles Morales as Spider-Man. You did the video game. It did freaking phenomenal. Now, instead of throwing more crap to almost cover him up, let us just watch his story.
Now, what I did notice that, yes, I kind of see what you're talking about. Because I do think this, I like the trailer, but I kind of see what you mean, like throwing too much together, try and make it better and better. Because more is better, apparently.
Yeah, like this is not a video game.
Here's the
thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a movie. I'm going to watch this. Like, let's keep it coherent.
calm down.
Let's
and
not just
stick to the story,
overload
yeah.
me. Like, look at this art style. Even this art style is like a cyberpunk wannabe
Yeah, it is.
type of deal. Like
2099 is from the future.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, but they're
But now they're making shows that look like this. So
it's like they're
what
trying
is
to catch
special?
the train, right?
Yes.
Like they're trying to be like the cyberpunks out there, right?
Like, look at
Like,
this. How
what
many
is-
Spider-Mans to have that Miles Morales be freaking Spider-Man?
Well, there's going to be over 200 Spider-Man.
For what?
Exactly.
What? Like, how does that number
But that
excite
doesn't make
you?
him special. And that's
Yeah.
what annoys me. Why is he not special? Why can't we just see his story being told?
Now, while I am excited for this, I know almost for a fact that it will not be better than the first one. But I don't know. Hopefully they can really wow me. The soundtrack, hopefully that's on point because the first one had a great soundtrack
Oh,
as
it
well.
sure did.
What's Up, Danger, and
Man,
stuff
the
like that.
soundtrack, the music
Sunflower,
was
but
freaking
yeah.
amazing.
What scared me about this is that this is, if they do it wrong, like how you're saying it, like the road you're saying it might go down, this could be like Lego Movie 1 and 2. Like 1 blew me away in a sense that I expected nothing from it, and it gave me, surprisingly a lot for being based on a toy. And I think that had a good story, a good plot, had a bunch of cameos that didn't feel overwhelming, but felt cool. And I think with Lego Movie 2, they tried to up it so much that it just felt like too much.
I just feel like, listen, there are going to be the hardcore fans are just going to love this movie for the fact that they got another one. And that's fine.
Well, people didn't like Far From Home, the one where the Mysterio was in it, and remember that one?
Yeah. But my biggest issue, like I stated, this one just continues to prove my point with this whole Miles Morales Spider-Man thing. It just continues to show that they don't believe in not having a white Spider-Man that can just have his own movie.
Yep.
And that's that. That's how I see it. You know, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but this, for me, just reinforces that what I feel is correct.
Yep. And it's almost like at all times there's like
someone else next to him
like he's
to
never
go ahead
doing
and like
anything.
boost him up. Why do we need all these other Spider-Mans and, you know, Gwen and everybody else in there?
Well,
like
Gwen
he can
has
have
a
his own movie.
I mean, Gwen and
Yep.
he are clearly, there's like something between them. So it's not kind of shoved there for no
Like
reason. It's story.
even over here in the cover,
Yep.
why,
It's still
why
Gwen.
is
She's
still
still there.
her?
Why can't he
You
just
know?
be there? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
The white girl with the blonde hair.
I didn't
Are
want.
you
I wasn't
kidding
gonna say
me?
it, but that's exactly
Sorry,
what it
I
is.
had to say
But it's true.
it. This is
Every scene is
ridiculous.
with her. She's white. The other Peter Parker, whatever, the other one, he's
Yeah.
white. They had another Spider-Man looking dude. He's white. Like the only other
Even if
dark
they
skinned
were-
person was that lady who pops up with the
Spider-Woman.
the puffy hair
Yeah, Spider-Woman.
or the afro hair.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Where
about.
is she?
Spider-Woman.
She's like right.
Spider-Woman.
Yeah, but there's
the one with the
also like
motorcycle.
there's a Asian look. I feel like it comes.
Look right here.
Oh, yeah, Japanese
Her.
Spider-Man.
Yes, Japanese.
This lady.
Okay. So why do
it's
we
like,
need to?
afro for she has dark skin? Well,
Yeah, almost
we
like
gotta
a.
we gotta throw an afro in there.
We got to throw something in there to not seem like this is what we're doing. You know? I don't know. For me,
there
it's
are
just.
other black Spider-Man, but Miles is the big one, obviously.
Well,
But
they,
he
apparently
shouldn't
they didn't
need
make the 200 cut.
right? He shouldn't need, which is funny because it maybe then throw him into. But he shouldn't need a bunch of other Spider-Mans from every other dimension or race to support this movie.
Now, question: are those other Spider-Man racially motivated? Yeah, you see that he gets fucking attacked at the end. I'm like, why? What did he do wrong? And she's like, we're supposed to be the good guys. Like, what happened? Were they like, he looks different? And what? I don't know. But, you know, it's interesting, all right. But, you know. Oh, shoot, what are you looking up? I can't really see.
Dude,
This is the first-
instantly
the
you
first
can see
one.
how much better this looks.
Oh, Into Spider-Verse trailer you're looking
Yeah,
at.
it does look
Dude,
better.
instantly.
So
Come on,
now
man.
they're just riding the train, right?
That's
the first
exactly
one
what
did
they're
well.
doing,
They
dude.
weren't expecting it to, and they were like, throw everything in.
That's wild. You see, they have one story for him, right? Look, it's so much, so focused, so centered. Why not just expand his story? Now he's his own Spider-Man, right?
What they're
Let
doing
us
is
see
the
him
other
be
characters
Spider-Man.
that they brought in, they're expanding their story and
Look at
bringing
this.
in new ones.
If you tell me that
Christ.
this doesn't look better than the shit show that we just saw?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Bro, I stand by the fact that I think Into
Look at
Spider-Verse
this.
is the best looking animated movie, I think,
Bro,
I've seen. It's beautiful.
How can we move backwards?
Well,
Why are we
hold on.
going backwards, dude?
And why are we okay with that?
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
the
problem.
excuses
That's
we want
the
to make.
problem. We want to
Because
make
it's part 2.
Exactly. We're so happy to have gotten it that we want to make excuses for the fact that it's not okay.
Dude, everything looks so much better. Yo. Everything looks so much better.
I mean, I'll admit, I think the first trailer was contained, and even if they brought a new art style, it's because it was a character from another multiverse. But
And listen, sorry to say this, but sorry not sorry. How did Peter Parker figure out how to be Spider-Man? Huh? And how did he figure out how to use his powers?
Yep.
But
Well, remember,
Miles
Miles didn't
Morales
start
can't
off.
figure this out on his own?
well, Miles, the thing is that obviously it's not as easy. He didn't start
Dude, he
in
just had
every
this
world
piece.
he lives in.
Hold on.
Remember, he came from the Ultimate Universe. That was a whole other thing. But basically, Spider-Man, it goes either two ways. One, his character arc is built off of being the new Spider-Man. Like, one is either, there's two ways it goes. One, Spider-Man dies, but Miles gets bitten somehow in the instant where he dies, and he gets spider powers. He's like, how will I live up to the name and stuff like that, and become Spider-Man? In doing so, he has to accept himself, and he becomes Spider-Man, yada yada. Or Spider-Man, he's like in some crazy fight, Miles gets bitten somehow in some sort of sub-fight or whatever, then he and Spider-Man meet by chance, and he's like, I got spider powers too. He's like, well, let me teach you the ropes, and yeah, become Spider-Man.
She
So,
seems
you
to know what to do with her powers. They
Dude,
seem to be about the same age, right?
why-
Because they're trying to show them romantically involved. So
Did you notice that part of this trailer is in this other trailer?
Yeah, the first one, that's where the mom is talking to the son. Like, I mean, not wow. Miles' mom is talking to his son about basically where, like, it's switching back to you can do whatever you want, but switching him to becoming Spider-Man, how he's going to do great things, but saves, like, basically fucking saves the world from destruction and shit like that with the multiverse.
Okay, so watching this trailer also
It solidified
just,
it.
Yeah.
I tell you right now, this thing was stunning. This was stunning. I challenge anybody who's listening to this, go watch Across the Universe, Spider-Verse trailer.
Yeah,
then
watch
go back
both of them
and
back
watch
to back.
Into the Spider-Verse trailer.
Now,
Or just watch the video version of this.
No, I didn't know you liked Into the Spider-Verse that much. There was a few
Of course, that was so good.
podcasts ago. You made a real rant about Into the Spider-Verse. I don't.
No. You're misconstruing what happened. We were upset that the only way that they gave Miles Morales a movie was as a cartoon.
Exactly. That
They
was
didn't invest in making a Miles Morales live action movie. So you can't conflate the situation. I wasn't having a problem with Miles Morales. I love that movie. It's so good. But you're giving us Miles Morales for the first time. Give me a real Miles Morales. Invest. Find an actor who can play this guy.
Exactly.
Make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Put in the work. Put in the energy. Spend the same money you're going to spend on the new Spider-Man movie.
And put it into
Miles Morales, bro. But they didn't want to.
Listen, we
they
showed
said,
you.
Here's a cartoon.
Yes, but
that was the issue.
But now it's even more of an insult because we
Yep.
did show you with the first movie and we did show you with the video game that we want this.
Yep.
So instead, you just laid back, took it easy, and said, all right, well, they're going to give us their money anyways.
Yep.
They'll be happy with this. No, I'm not.
Wild. It's wild. I'm not satisfied with it. And, you know, I mean, obviously nothing's going to change. The movie's going to come out. It is what it is. Whether it's good or bad, it's doesn't matter, right? I'm sure the story will be fine. I'm sure they'll have some way to make it
Listen,
good.
what they're going
but-
to do if it doesn't make as much money is say, well, we don't have to make them anymore because look,
We
the
made two.
fans are not responding to it. And yeah, they even if they flop, they continue to make the Peter Parker over
Yep.
and over again,
over
right?
and over.
Part
over
three
and
is
over.
already
like,
being
you
made.
know
It
what?
might be done because it's part one and part two. So regardless, three will.
Yes,
have to
but
come
they
out.
made the first three. And then they were like, you know what? Let's find a new actor and do it again. And yes, he only got two. But then you know what? Let's find another Spider-Man and do it again.
Hey, let's
Peter
ask
Parker.
Andrew Garfield how he feels about the third one already being done.
Oh, some people think that they claim that they saw the Spider-Man, the Andrew Garfield logo, like that he might be in it, like because in a poster you might have seen Spider-Man's back, and it was like this Amazing Spider-Man logo, and so we were like, it's Andrew Garfield, just like that.
Look, it's cool. It's fine that this is cool that they released the trailer. This this movie's gonna be a big deal.
At least
Obviously.
it's happening, right? But it's not. Let's not close our eyes and act like we don't see.
Now, if you ask me,
It doesn't look beautiful.
If I was in the boardroom and I was like, "Hey, let's make a sequel," I would say no. I thought it was self-contained. It felt like a good story, start to finish, into Spider-Man.
But that's not true because
they
they could have made a sequel.
Yeah.
Because they make 3 Spider-Mans every time.
Yeah.
So there's no reason why Miles Morales doesn't deserve his own trilogy.
Exactly.
But it should be his
It should be his story.
trilogy.
Yes. Why
His
are we?
story.
Why
If you
are we
wanna have
covering
Spider-Gwen-
him up? Why?
Yeah.
She's in the freaking cover with him. That annoys the crap out of me. It's his story. That's
If
messed
you want
up.
to make Spider-Gwen his Mary Jane, except that now
That's
she's
kinda what it's gonna be.
but they
She's
should have been
playing
the only
same
2
role.
people.
And she's also playing an equal role, right? It's not.
Yep.
It's like she's in the cover.
Well, to be
It's their
fair,
movie
they never had
then.
a female Spider-Man have their own movie either.
Oh, then make her movie.
She
But
should
right
have her own
now,
movie too, then.
let's focus on the issue at hand, right? Is Miles Morales.
Yep.
Okay? They make plenty of movies, all right, with Peter Parker. So let's give him a moment and let's not throw it all in. That's what I'm saying. They're throwing it all in because it's like, okay, well, let's get everybody. No, everybody deserves their moment. Why is Miles Morales not getting his and using his name, right, to bring in everybody else as well?
Agreed.
I do believe that, why not make the Gwen freaking movie too?
Yeah.
There should be a female
Spider-Gwen.
spider. Yep. And why not? But it shouldn't be on his back.
They are
Let him
making
have his moment.
Yeah, they should make like
making
the
up.
Avengers of Spider-Man.
Why? Yes.
Right? You got
That's
Peter
which is what
Parker,
this mess looks like.
You got Miles, you got Spider-Gwen, and then they have their own individual movies, just like the Marvel, right?
Yep.
You have their own individual movies, and then you get them together for one big, grand movie, right? Dope. But this is bullshit.
Actually, Spider-Man,
literally.
Sony confirmed that they're making an all-girl spin-off of Spider-Verse, but Spider-Gwen and all the female Spider variants and stuff like that. So they're going to do their own thing with that as well.
Or maybe we could just give her movie.
No.
And
Just
let's
Spider-Verse.
stop throwing
Spider-Verse.
everything
let's
in,
put
guys.
everybody in because these people
Because
are not
female
as
too cannot
they can't be a
hold their
lead.
own, and we can't have her
All
own movie.
This
Well,
is-
Spider-Verse is in the name, so I think
It's
a
like,
it's
what's
based
her
on
name?
a comic.
Black Widow from Avengers. She had a fight to get this movie
She had to
made.
die in the actual movie to then be say, here, we'll give you a solo movie,
A prequel.
a prequel, just so that we know we don't have to make another one.
Yeah, and then guess
Even
what?
if it blows up,
On top of
we
it,
don't have to make another one.
they figure how to cheat her out of her money.
Yep. That's wild.
It's crazy.
That's
Get
wild.
out of here with that.
Oof,
Do
all right,
better.
Sus, yeah.
Anyways,
Well, hashtag, this is not my Spider-Man Miles Morales.
there you go.
This is not my Miles.
Yeah.
Hashtag give her own movie.
Yeah, that too.
Hashtag stop throwing everything in.
Well, don't worry. I mean, there's gonna be more trailers, so hopefully the trailer 2 will be even better.
I hope I don't see extra ones. Listen, the Mario movie, yes, I am pumped and gassed
Trailer
up.
2 is way
Throw
better for
everything
Mario
in
movie.
there.
Like, I was excited for
This
Mario
was
movie
not
with
cool.
the first one, but
Yeah.
trailer 2 was far better and showed way more and made me more excited.
Yeah.
So, you know.
All right. Well, that was
What
a fun
else we
rant
got?
on Spider-Man.
All right, there we go. So, sorry. So, Warner Brothers has officially kicked off its 100th anniversary celebration because it's turning 100 years old in 2023. And they have officially announced a slew of classic film restorations in HD and 4K, including Enter the Dragon and The Exorcist for the very first time, as well as exclusive screenings of legacy films at the Academy Museum in Los Angeles and the National Museum of American History in Washington, D.C. And they are also releasing a ginormous Blu-ray and DVD box set. I mean, it might be out. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it has a bunch of like their pinnacle films, including The Jazz Singer, and I think The Wizard of Oz might be in there. I mean, even though it's MGM, a whole bunch of The Shawshank Redemption, a bunch of movies that are pinnacle to Warner Brothers history, and they show how far they've come. And they release a sizzle reel with all the biggest legacy content, I'm sorry, I'm hitting a wall here.
Well, just
I
legacy
forgot, like
content.
Singing in the Rain, Friends, The Dark Knight, Shawshank Redemption's in there, I think. A whole
Wizard
bunch
of
of stuff.
Oz.
What?
Wizard of
Alright.
Oz.
Which weird. That's not even Warner Brothers. That was MGM, but that's weird. But yeah, still, all that stuff is there.
Yeah. I mean,
100 years is a
100
long
years
time.
is a super long time.
Should be celebrated. Oh, you saw
Space
Smallville? There's
Jam's in it.
Friends, Sex and the City.
Listen, they're Warner Brothers is an important studio in history, right?
Listen, they've made a lot of epic things, a lot of things that
a lot of firsts
have withstand
the test of time.
the test of
Warner
time.
Brothers released the first movie with synchronized sound, The Jazz Singer, like I mentioned. That was the first movie to have sound and imagery. Like by that point, it was just music in the background or something like that, but they actually had talking that was synchronized. So yeah. And they're very important. They started the same year as Disney, which is interesting to think about. They've been rivals since the beginning. So to see them, they also did Dune. They just released they do it's weird because they're not a brand, it's not Warner Brothers, the Iron Giant or something like that. Like how Disney stamps their name on everything. So you don't think about what they make, but they make a lot. Like they're the people who made Space Jam and stuff like that. And
very rounded they are. They make a lot of different things.
Yep.
And there's also for DC, like the Dark Knight movies were them, the Batman and stuff like that. So
this is pretty cool.
It's pretty exciting.
They should be celebrated. Disney runs around celebrating 50 years, 65, this, that. Calm down, Disney.
It's the first dish I've heard of them.
Seriously.
So yeah.
I mean, they do have a little bit of everything. You're watching this.
When you watch
sizzle
this that we're looking at right now and we're playing, it's just.
Oh, shit.
They've done so much, and again, things like The Matrix, Friends, The Ellen Show, Smallville.
It looks like they did everything that's important outside of Disney.
Basically, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like everything that's important that I remember from young. Well, they even put a video game in the mix.
Who?
They put in their the Warner Brothers trailer. That's the sizzle reel. They have video games in there too.
They had
Arkham
Injustice.
and Injustice.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Wow. That's dope. Warner Brothers has.
Oh, and what do you call it? The Shining. Here's Johnny, and they had the It movies and stuff like that. They feel like that they don't stamp their names on stuff. Like it's not part of the brand. So I don't think a lot about what they make. They make The Matrix, which I didn't even know before that point. So they do a lot of stuff. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, that's the thing. So when you see it all together, like this little presentation over here, it's like, oh wow, I didn't even know they made this. And you kind of see, you're like, oh, okay, they made that.
And they did the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
movies,
all together. It's kind of unbelievable how much they've done.
It's wild that in their 100-year history, only 9 movies they made were Best Picture winners.
In 100 years?
Yep, all the movies that they ever made, 9 of them won Best Picture awards from the Oscars, which is wild.
They got some bangers though.
They really do.
They got some bangers.
Oh, Independence? Not Independence Day. Trading Day. Yes.
The Aliens.
Dude, they
like
literally
that.
Braveheart.
This is so cool.
Space Jam. Yeah, dude. They have all the big stuff, man.
Yeah, a lot of impactful things.
Yeah, things that really left the mark. Free Willy. Holy mother. Harry Potter's. Come on, man.
Yeah, they own Harry Potter, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, sure. Warner Brothers.
Good job. All right.
You know what's sad is that they're in such flux too, man. Like they're getting sold around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Discovery Channel freaking merged with them.
And Black Adam is from them. Yeah, it's just that you think once about them, they realize, wow, all of this came from them.
That is true.
That's
wild. To 100 more,
and they gave the Flash
right?
the final shot.
Yeah. That's awesome.
The criminal. So yeah, I don't know. This is pretty epic.
I still hope Xbox buys their gaming studios.
You had an Xbox buys Warner Brothers. Elon Musk buys Warner Brothers. Oh
no, he has his hands full.
I'm trying to build Twitter. See, what do you think I am? But yeah, that's pretty wild.
Listen, he's not going to give us what we want if we disagree with what he's doing. So let's leave him out of this.
All right.
He stays out.
Very
no matter
cool.
what.
Very cool. All right. What's next on the docket, my friend?
Well, it is on talking about Warner. It has been confirmed that Henry Cavill has been booted from the DCEU.
Oh man.
He and James Gunn met up and things didn't go great. So yeah.
That's aggressive.
So now he is not Superman or Geralt from The Witcher.
Man, man.
Must suck to be him. He's a part of Warhammer movie now, but that's
I'm not going to lie and say that I'm not enjoying this a little bit because I was really annoyed with the fact that he dropped The Witcher to go play Superman. And Netflix may be really loving this at the moment too. So Netflix, if you're listening, I'm with you.
So he put out a post confirming it. He did it on Instagram. I'll read it here so we know what he said. So I have just had a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and it's sad news, everyone. I will, after all, not be returning as Superman. After being told by the studio to announce my return back in October, prior to their hire, this news isn't the easiest, but that's life. The changing of the guard is something that happens. I respect that. James and Peter have a universe to build. I wish them and all involved with the new universe the best of luck and the happiest of fortunes. For those who have been by my side through the years, not Doodle, we can mourn for a bit, but then we must remember Superman is still around. Everything he stands for still exists, and the examples he sets for us are still there.
F me, that was beautiful.
My turn to wear the cape has passed, but what Superman stands for never will. It's been a fun ride with you all. Onwards and upwards.
Well, this makes me feel a
Hey.
little bad that he's taking this. Like, he went in there like, yo, guys, what are we doing next?
Yep.
Because they
They're like,
essentially
What are we
solidified.
doing next? What are we doing?
Yeah, like they were like, all right, come back. Let's go. Let's do this. And then it's like they pull the rug from under him. Now, for me, I'm a little bitter because he did leave my show, The Witcher, and it was really annoying. But he seems to not be too happy with what happened, but he's making peace with it. And then it got a little bit dramatic. We know that Superman gets swapped around over and over, and these roles, it's kind of like he is a little bit on the older end, and these roles get switched up pretty fast. So I was kind of shocked that they were going to bring him back to play Superman. Although he did play him well, but I thought when they said they were going to freshen up, I thought they were going to go ahead and get all new people, fresh faces, to kind of do like what they did with Spider-Man and bring in some young blood, right? So
Stop calling this Superman. Oh my God.
So I was shocked when they were gonna keep him, but it seems like he's got things lined up. He's moved on.
And listen, he's not necessarily done with DC, right? Just because he's not playing Superman. We did see, similar to him, Ryan Reynolds.
Yes,
Deadpool
he's
was
done
not
being
his
Deadpool.
first character that he played.
that is true. Maybe he's
He
gonna
did
go to
play the
Marvel and
Green
get a
Lantern.
job
You
over
never
there,
know,
or
but-
maybe he's gonna play Superman's dad
So
or grandfather. I don't know.
Or he might make cameos, but James Gunn did put out a tweet kind of referencing it. So he said, Peter and I have a DC slate ready to go, which we couldn't be more over the moon about. We'll be able to share some exciting information about our first projects at the beginning of the new year. Among those on the slate is Superman. In the initial stages, our story will be focusing on an earlier part of Superman's life,
Yeah,
a
see,
la Smallville.
see,
So the character will not be played by Henry Cavill, which is a nice way of saying he can't be played by Henry Cavill because
He
it's
can-
a young guy. But we just
That's
had
exactly
a great
what I
meeting.
said.
We just had a great meeting with Henry, and we're big fans. And we talked about a number of exciting possibilities to work together in the future.
Well, that's why obviously he had to make this beautiful speech.
Yeah, because
right?
it's
You got to
not
keep it
over.
nice.
Yeah, and listen, you just like you said, he is getting older, and
They're
they
taking
wanna,
a new
they wanna
direction.
refresh it.
Yes.
And if he's taking over now, James Gunn's taking over. He wants to start something fresh that can grow with him as he's there. So he wants to start with the younger and kind of revisit the Smallville era.
I love that they're
because
planning
that
to
is
do
a
that.
great era. I feel like we should do a her, him, and a Mike on Smallville
I would love that.
because that's dope. But that's a great era. There's a great time. There's a very exciting time because there's a lot of different possibilities happening. He's not cemented in who he's eventually turns out to be, right? So there's a lot that they can experiment with, which is cool. And plus, that also means they can introduce younger versions of of the bad guys.
Yes.
The younger
Like
Lex
Lex Luthor.
Luthor, younger anybody else that's in the DC era.
And
that deals
supposedly,
with him.
I think they confirmed it already, but the Brainiac is supposed to be the big villain for Man of Steel 2 or the
Okay.
next Superman movie.
Well, it's not going to be Man of Steel 2 because
Next Superman
they're
movie, that's what I
restarting
meant
it.
to say.
But I mean but also that's the old one that was going to be with Henry Cavill. He's starting brand new, so
Yeah,
Brainiac,
who knows what's going to
we
happen
have
to
no
that
idea
script.
what he's going to do. But I will say that when I hear him say they have their slate ready to go, they know what they're going to do for all of DC, and they're excited about it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So they're going to share it with us, and I'm really excited to see what comes from it. We did have a conversation, one of our podcasts many moons ago, where we talked about how exciting DC actually is right now because of the possibilities that are available, right? Like, you know, Marvel's kind of ingrained, so it's a little harder for them. I mean, they're bringing new characters up, but
they're all mixed in with the older characters, and it's kind of like they've tried to, like, the Iron Man is out.
But that's what I'm
Black
saying.
Widow
Like, it's
is
kind
out,
of, but
Captain
not really,
America
right? So
is
Captain
out.
is gone. Like, these people are gone
Yeah.
out of the MCU. You can't bring them back.
Unless they do some. I mean, they brought.
Well, that's
Loki
what the
back.
multiverse
Like, they
is
killed
for, right?
Loki
So
and
they're
then
gonna
they brought him back through multiverse.
Say that again,
Say it
man.
again, man.
They, if you remember, they killed Loki off in Infinity War, but they brought him back through the Loki Disney Plus series because it's a different version of him from a different multiverse. Because in Endgame, they went back to 2012 when the Avengers happened,
Yeah.
and he collected the Tesseract Stone and managed to escape.
Oh,
Because
yes.
they got into a fight with Captain America, then they kind of forgot about him. So yeah, he's evil now, but through the course of Loki, he goes through character development, and
Do you enjoy that multiverse thing, Madman?
I do like the multiverse, but I think that it could get complicated. Like the Doctor Strange into the multiverse of madness was not that great, and like there were instances where it could be a little too much. But I do think it's healthy, and I think that it is a good thing for the universe to explore. Like Spider-Man No Way Home handled the multiverse really well, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And introduced the characters and villains without it feeling overbearing, and made it the best Marvel Spider-Man in the whole trilogy. So, you know, I think that there is a good to it. Maybe indulging too much can be a bad thing.
Yeah, I feel
But,
like
you
the
know.
balance is a big deal with that. You know?
So, yeah.
I mean that's my problem with I feel like the multiverse gives them too much ability to be lazy.
Yeah, because they could just scratch
They
anything
can excuse
out.
any decision
Yes.
they make by saying, "Oh, well, this is just a different version." Like I don't like that. I
Yeah.
feel like that's like it's okay if they make like one movie that's the multiverse where it opens up, you see the multiverse situation, and then it seals and it can't be around anymore or something like that. Like to shut it off if you want
Yeah.
to do it like that. Like this will forever be sealed.
I don't
Something
even
like
like you. I know you CMoney and you Madman are kind of like into this whole like what if the show.
Oh, Marvel's What If? Oh, we never finished
Oh,
that, but I really liked it. They had a
Yes.
lot of cool ideas of like what if things turn out differently, and a lot of them are really interesting.
See, I don't really enjoy those things because I feel like it takes away from what I saw. So
Exactly.
it makes it reminds me that it's all just not real. Not that I'm running around saying, "Oh my gosh, Spider-Man, it's real," but like
But
you
it's not
go,
real in their
you get
world.
lost. Yeah, you get lost. Yeah, in their own world, they're saying, "Hey, is that real here either?"
Yep.
So that's
Like we didn't watch it, but there was one where there's like a what if the Marvel heroes were zombies and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange are the only survivors, and everyone else are like and all the Avengers turn into zombies because of a virus that and now they're killing people and it's like that, and they become the villains sort of.
yeah. See,
And
the
they do
best
some
thing,
unique stuff.
Did you watch that one?
No, we watched the one where if Peggy became Captain America or Captain Britain, not Steve Rogers, and if T'Challa was Star-Lord, which was Chadwick Boseman's final portrayal of Black Panther. And then there was the what if the Avengers were killed by Loki, or what if Loki killed him first, or something like that. And then there was what if Doctor Strange became evil, basically, which ties into the movie.
This sounds like this is what they sit around the table and talk about when they're trying to come up with the script, right? And they're like, what if we do this? What if we do that? What if we do that? But what they are not remembering is that all those what ifs, and then those are all garbage to what your final project is, right? So you're sitting there, should we take this into consideration? Should we do this? And it's like, no, that wouldn't work. And let's go with this. Like what you go with is what the final product that you think is going to be good enough. But you guys, I feel like you're feeding us all the garbage that you...
Well, well, the ones we saw were great. Like they were really good. So there are unique takes.
I mean, they're really
cool.
It's hard. Like when you say really good, like they're really good for what they were. Like I would not say they're really good like a Avengers Endgame or any of the Avengers movies or anything that really was good.
Well, sure, I understand.
Right? Like it was a fun experiment to watch these things and see some of the differences.
I mean, I think it's unique to see, like, it's a breath of fresh air to see, like, things that you would never see in the normal canon be, like, shown and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you know what? Breath of fresh air is overrated.
I don't know.
Once you get to a certain point where you're doing things just to do it, it's not really
well, because
exciting
they're not
anymore.
making just that one special thing. They're making everything and all over the place to see what takes and what doesn't. Now, what I do, if you guys are into like Funko Pops, the best thing that probably came out of that zombie take on were those pops. They look freaking amazing. Yeah, cool. So if you guys are into that and didn't know about the pops, go check them out. They look really cool.
Oh yeah, they started to get really creative. Season 2 is happening, so there's gonna be more. But like some of them got too dark. Like there was one where if Spider-Man was bitten, but instead of getting spider powers, he became a Spider-Man, like a little spider,
like an actual spider.
And there's like they had like a whole thing. It was gonna be a horror, and he grotesquely becomes a spider,
like a big spider, like human size, or like a tiny spider.
It's like out of control and it's like that. Disney didn't want it because it was getting really like graphic because it's like a body horror.
Yeah,
and Disney was like, "There's no fucking way we're doing that," and they're like, "Okay." But yeah, so there's a lot of ideas and a lot of cool stuff they could do, but I don't know. Supposedly they're making rumor has it they're making a Marvel zombie series, but it's R-rated, and they're gonna go into that idea completely. But I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
I don't know. I just feel like Marvel's kind of losing their way. I'm much more excited about what's possible on the DC side of things right now.
I mean, Deadpool 3 is going to be good, hopefully.
Yes, I'm excited for Deadpool 3.
That's an instance of multiverse. Like, Logan is going to be in it. But it's not going to connect to the Logan movie where he dies. It's going to be before that, and it's going to be a variation of him. But it's still going to include that. And I think Deadpool's a good way to rejuvenate the Marvel universe. So
yeah, but I feel like I don't even see him as part of their universe. Because he already existed outside of their universe.
Because what Disney's doing is like, how can we accept Deadpool? You know what? Let's mix him with Wolverine. But Wolverine died on our last movie. We'll just say that was in Rio or that
it was a multiverse.
He came back. Yep, or it was in another dimension.
Multiverse, not us.
Oh, Logan's not part of this world.
Yeah.
That was, you didn't know at the time, but we were showing you a multiverse version of
that was
Wolverine.
Intentional, guys.
That's why we called him Logan. Nobody calls him Logan, even though it's his name. You know what I'm saying?
He's Wolverine, not Carter.
Man.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know.
But I am excited, especially now knowing that they're shaking the house and kind of just refresh, ready to go. You brought up a really good point. It's like Marvel has been maximizing themselves, and they, instead of resetting and like, I don't know, maybe starting over, kind of like how they do with the Spider-Man movies, and then they start a new trilogy with new actors and everything. What they keep doing is grabbing on from what they have, and they keep on stretching it out. Even Doctor Strange, who I was like, it was like a favorite of mine when I saw the first movie. It's kind of like, what do you guys do to him?
Yep. They made him a clown.
Yeah,
He's there just to open up all these.
Thor is the clown.
Oh my gosh, I do not like Thor anymore.
Did we even try
no,
it?
I don't. Guys, I almost just don't want to. It's crazy.
Yeah,
but
I don't have a desire to watch it, but I kind of want. It's weird. Like I want to watch it for the sake of.
You want to see how bad they're failing.
How bad is Thor?
The CGI was awful. I heard. Like there was the one with like a floating head that looked like something you'd probably make on like iMovie or something. Like, ugh.
Well, so that's what I'm saying. Like that's my curiosity. It's almost like a morbid curiosity. Like I want to watch it to see how bad it actually is.
How much you can handle until you fall asleep, or
say let's turn this off. But aside from that, I don't know, man. Like I'm open to them coming out with their things and seeing if anything's actually good. But I feel like they're a little lost.
Well, it's become kind of like DC, where you're just watching and hoping that they just get that good one, right? And that you're not disappointed again. And it's sad to say because they've done so well for so long. I mean, everything comes to an end, but I think their biggest default is the fact that they're not resetting and just saying, okay, let's stop this. And they just keep saying, oh, no, that was just kidding. That was a what if. That was a different dimension. That was a different universe. It's like, okay, bro, come on.
Not to mention, I think their biggest uphill battle is the cast of the Avengers.
Because they have such a perfect cast.
A perfect storm of characters and actors and actresses who played those roles.
I do agree with that, but I also know that they found the new Spider-Man. And just like they did that, and I feel like he fits perfect. He's the best Spider-Man I feel they've ever given us. I think they can put the same energy into finding the other characters. And potentially with the technology we have now and just a new cast that they have to probably pay less money to because they'll be dealing with like younger people, a name that's potentially not necessarily established. They'll be able to do a lot more.
To a big character that we know.
From what I never saw. And I guess because they mixed him in with like Iron Man and everybody else, they were kind of testing him out. But I never saw him before he did Spider-Man. And he was freaking perfect.
But he got co-signed by that cast.
Yes.
Right? Of the big dogs.
Yes. So he was supported by that cast. Exactly. So even if you didn't like him, you liked everything around him. Yep. So it was much easier. Maybe bring him into whoever you choose next. We already like him.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what they have going on. But DC, that's where my eyes are for sure. I'm excited by what's going to come from this. And I'm really excited that James Gunn is in charge. You know, I want to see him prove, it's competition, right? Like James Gunn is an established dude. Like he is a certain quality of a director and you expect some certain level of quality from him.
Yeah.
So the fact that he now is, in charge, like I'm expecting him to try to be the Kevin Feige of DC and be like the puppet master and make this huge interconnected DC world that might be really dope.
Now, to be clear, he does have one more Marvel movie in the vault, and that's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is coming out next year, which looks pretty good.
Yeah, but that's already made.
Yeah.
He's not doing that.
That was done. So what's hopeful about it is that they already had given Henry pretty much the job, right? And he was like, well, no, that's not the direction I'm planning to take. And it was like, done. Like he went ahead and said, nope, like that's not what we're doing.
Because even though I'm sure they had to pay him
exactly
to break the contract.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I like the fact that it seems like he
knows
what he wants.
In what he wants to make that
to start breaking these things. Because they could have said, let's make this last one with him and then, or whatever the contract was for, and then let's start making these changes. But he's like ready to go. Which also has a lot to say about the movie that we're going to actually put out with Henry, right? Obviously, it was not good enough for him.
Yeah, he didn't like it, just like that Wonder Woman script.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Listen, there's going to be shakeups and changes, and this is one of them. And, obviously, we know like Aquaman got the boot too. Like,
I'm okay with that.
I never cared about Aquaman.
Me neither.
Well, I thought
he
was
with that.
I thought he was a good Aquaman, but at the same time, he started getting really loose in his career.
Yeah, he did. His Netflix movie looks stupid.
The way he's perceived.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see what's to come in the DC world and the Marvel world.
That's right.
All right. So I think it kind of a little change for the whole DC and Warner stuff. Microsoft's Brad Smith says that he still believes that the Activision deal will close in 2023. Catch you up to speed, y'all, who's like first podcast this is of ours, or who is not all familiar. Xbox is trying to buy Activision desperately. They've been trying for so long. Supposedly, it was on track to close in 2023. But the CMA and FTC have just made it so complicated. And PlayStation keeps whining and trying to get their way. And things have just been way harder than it should be. But supposedly, Brad Smith, who is I'm pretty sure president at Microsoft, he's basically like, guys, I'm pretty dang sure this is going to close anyway. He's trying to reassure people, and he honestly thinks that this will go their way and close. exactly when expected, 2023. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, first of all, they originally kind of said June 2023, but they dropped the June. So now they're just making it 2023. But he did a interview here with Bloomberg. So I'm gonna put this on. I want to play this interview so we can kind of get a actual perspective on what he's actually saying.
Okay.
And then IGN has some cool quotes from him as well, and then we can kind of dive deeper into it. So let me put this up here. Let me do this. Okay, so I'm going to play it now, and then we will take a look after.
We're the small entrant. They have 286 exclusive titles. We have 59. We need some more first-party games in order to be a healthier and stronger competitor. And we need to do it, of course, in a way that doesn't impede competition along the way. All of these concerns have basically focused on one title, a great title, a game, Call of Duty. But we've said we're prepared to commit contractually. We're prepared to commit under a consent decree or an undertaking that will be available for Sony on comparable terms to Xbox for the next decade. So I look at this and say, this will be good for competition, and we have a solution to the one problem that seems to bother people the most. And my only real complaint or concern, if you will, about where we are in Washington, D.C., is that we had the Federal Trade Commission vote to block this without giving us even a single meeting at which to sit down with the FTC staff and talk about the consent decree proposal and solution we had put on the table. I don't think that is appropriate. I don't think that's right. I don't think we should have governments rejecting potential solutions without at least first having a real conversation about them. That's not a recipe that will advance competition.
So what happens next then?
Well, we have a process in Washington, D.C., and it's called lawyers get to go argue before a judge under the law, an administrative law judge. And this still goes forward in other countries.
Right.
It has a long ways to go. We'll see. Look, nobody ever has a crystal ball in which you can predict the future with 100% certainty. But when I look at what this acquisition will bring, I think it will bring good things to the marketplace. It will definitely be good, in our view, for people who develop games, consumers who play games. That's, after all, the real focus of what competition law is all about.
Anticipating the deal to go through in 2023, or?
Well, we have a period of time. We originally said, when we announced this in January of this year, 2022, that we were looking at it in 2023, and that's still the way we look at it.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, I don't know.
That was
We're
something.
the small entrant. They have 280.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a big deal right there. They have
Yeah.
280.
Yeah, I have it here. So the IGN has some of these quotes broken out here. So during that interview, right, you got Brad Smith over here for Xbox and Microsoft putting out, just stating their case, right? So the FTC's case is really based on a market that they've identified that they say has two companies and two products, Sony PlayStation and Microsoft Xbox. If you look at the global market, Sony has 70% of that market. We have 30%. So the first thing a judge is going to have to decide is whether the FTC lawsuit is a case that will promote competition, or is it really instead of a case that will protect the largest competitor from competition? Okay, is it going to protect the largest competitor from competition? And this is where you were looking at the numbers. Smith added that PlayStation has 286 exclusive games. That's just this year, while Xbox only had 59.
Really?
So the administrative law judge is going to have to decide whether going from 59 to 60 is such a danger to competition that he should stop this from moving forward. And I mean, I just don't see it. Right?
I don't see how this would be so bad. I mean, like, this will end the universe. Like, geez, honestly.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. What do you think, Doodle, when you watch this and you hear this?
It's disappointing. It makes you, when you see the numbers and the percentages and everything, it almost makes you angry.
It's borderline sickening.
Well, because it's something about like favoritism and giving into power. And I didn't know there was that big of a gap, honestly.
Yeah, it's a huge gap.
That's a big deal. And for Jim Ryan to parade around as if this is the end of the world because they want to keep competition from the largest competitor, it's crazy.
It's wild.
And the fact that it's being challenged, it's even more so.
Yeah, especially without even listening to them.
Well,
like without going and letting
this is
them
the
talk.
thing. They send in the paperwork. I can only imagine that he's saying this because they did request to have a sit down and speak, right? Because normally these type of things, they look over the documents and they pretty much say no, yes or no, right? So in my mind, when I hear this, it's kind of like, okay, well, wouldn't that be the normal take on it? Unless they requested to have a sit down and hear us out, and they shut that down.
Well, you got to remember that Jim Ryan was before this flying over to meet these people.
Yes, and
so
sending
if you're taking meetings
letters,
from Jim Ryan, if you're letting Jim Ryan come and sit down, then why wouldn't you let Microsoft sit down?
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. It must have been what I'm saying is for him to be saying this, it must have been a situation in which they requested a sit down, and it was not acknowledged.
Versus
exactly.
Jim Ryan coming and sitting down with them, right?
I assume that Jim Ryan also asked to go ahead and have this happen, and it went his way. But we don't know specifics with that. But these numbers are very specific. And just on these numbers alone, I don't see where the red flags are coming from and why they're making such a big deal. Obviously, they don't want to lose Call of Duty. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, well, maybe their problem is that Phil Spencer is the one saying these things, right? So Phil Spencer's not the owner, right? He's an employee. So what if Phil Spencer's no longer the head of Xbox?
Oh, no, they're doing contracts. So the contract has nothing to do with the person.
Meaning that Phil Spencer's the one saying, after this contract, we have no desire to take the game off of PlayStation, right? And it can always come back around into well, Phil Spencer said those words. Phil Spencer's no longer in charge. So, it doesn't fall onto what you didn't hear.
I guess
from us,
but
right?
it's a 10-year contract. So
I get that, but what I'm trying to, I'm looking for a different perspective.
Yeah, so I get what you're saying.
And that's what comes up, that they can be feeling like maybe whatever. But again, you look at these numbers, and aside from their maybe having a harder time and Xbox maybe gaining a little bit more ground, I don't see how this is going to flip everything over and have now Xbox dominate.
Yeah, but even if it made the numbers,
also, by the way, even if it swapped the numbers out and then Xbox is at a 70% because of this big decision, right?
There's nothing wrong with that because that's what's there now.
PlayStation becomes a 30%. How will that be a problem if PlayStation has been there, right?
Exactly.
Now, it's a big gap. And they're not looking at that gap and saying, okay, you guys are trying to make it a little closer. And that gap is not going to be closed by Call of Duty. It's not going to bring it up to 50-50, I believe, in my opinion.
No.
So,
no.
Yeah. What do you think, Madman?
This is all just a lot. I think that it's just ridiculous to me. I feel like that this comes down to the exact same point every single time. That PlayStation just wants to get their way and have everything, even though that they clearly have an advantage in terms of exclusives. I don't know what it is, but the developers are attracted to PlayStation. And while Xbox and Game Pass have been making it more viable, like more intriguing to develop for, PlayStation has always been earlier on the market, has always had the upper hand in the market. Their consoles usually outsell the Xbox. Actually, every single generation, PlayStation has beat Xbox. So I think
they only beat the 360 at the end. Right. So once the 360, once they started shifting to Xbox One, that's when
they started giving up, and PlayStation was like, "Let's release The Last of Us" on the last year of the Xbox, and people bought PlayStation just for The Last of Us.
But there's no denying with these numbers that there's a huge gap between them. So, Madman, what you're saying is 100% correct. If there's a big gap, it's coming from somewhere. There's a big difference between these two companies. The fact that they're making such a big deal, it's
so that
ludicrous.
70% is going to be from Xbox One and PlayStation and the Xbox Series X generation. So, because nobody's counting 360 era because nobody's playing those. But
you
Xbox
did make at a point to say that the 286
this past year.
It was just this past year, meaning what they've had before, it could have been higher, maybe a little lower, but it could have been a lot more.
For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it ranges, it changes, but
but that's
they've been leading for a really long time.
Series X and the PlayStation 5 are not like that big of a gap. It's when you count PlayStation 4 and Xbox Ones and the Series X and the PlayStation 5, when you count them combined, that's where you have the 70%. And the reason that that's viable now is because Sony is still
the king
selling two PlayStation 4s. You know what I'm saying? Like they're still looking to do that, and so is Xbox One.
And that was like obscene. Like PlayStation has like if you look at the best-selling consoles, all the PlayStations are like right up there. Maybe the PS3 was a bit lower, but in general, most of them are like super high up there. PS1 was like 100 million it sold. The N64 was like 32 million. Dreamcast was a joke. The next generation, Xbox was like 24. GameCube was at like 20. PlayStation 2 was all it did was become like the best-selling console of all time. I mean, there was no way you were going to top it. No matter
That's
how much
the thing. Like PlayStation, there's no denying PlayStation has been leading, and PlayStation has like it's the exotic, more preferred system, and that's just what it is.
I mean, the PS3 they got cocky, so they're like the two of their consoles became. I think it was like the top 5 best-selling console of all time. It was PS1, PS2. And it's like, we could do anything. And they charged $600 for their console. And people were like, that's a joke. Even their exclusives weren't that impressive. And then that's when 360, they burst down the doors. And Halo 3 was a big game, finished the fight. And Xbox 360 alongside it. And Gears of War they established and all that. And they were easily winning in the beginning. They were crushing them until Xbox thought it would be a funny idea to go towards the casual market. And then that's when the Kinect came in. All the bangers just stopped. And then PlayStation was like, we are sorry to our fans for disappointing you. Now, let us try The Last of Us, and hopefully everything will be okay. And then after that, they outsell the Xbox 360 by like 1 million or something like that. And they're the best.
It's crazy. And I mean, listen, just like Nintendo has been very innovative, I believe, in my opinion, that Xbox is also the same way. And I did love the Kinect when they had it, and it was really good, and it was very reactive.
It was obviously their answer to the Wii, which the Wii, we talk about how they were going at it. The Wii was busy selling 100 million units. So,
but let's not forget that PlayStation, when they got creative and came out with these freaking glowing balls at the end of the sticks of remotes that they had, that was a flop.
Oh, push it and
a half.
I mean, they were cute looking controllers, I guess. I mean, it worked with Little Big Planet, but like nothing big came out of it. I think they just gave up on it, but now they have a purpose because the VR used them, the first version. Now they just have special remotes for the VR 2, right? I think they're just going to make special controllers.
Yeah.
So they're kind of pointless now. So, yeah.
Well, I would say that this whole thing, look, it's clear that Microsoft is frustrated.
Microsoft is frustrated, but I think Microsoft is setting up grounds. Microsoft is still saying the date we said was for 2023. And he said that very calmly. It could change, it could not. But he said that very calmly. And they're out here putting a lot of numbers and showing the gaps and the differences, right? So they did meet with Jim Ryan, whether requested or not, and they haven't met with Microsoft, right? There are a lot of differences, and I think that what's going to come is a nice, beautiful discrimination lawsuit that it's obvious to me when I see these things and I hear what he's saying. It's like, why is this happening? It makes absolutely no sense. And that would be, are you putting me down? Is this discrimination? What I do to you that you can't meet with me? And the numbers speak for themselves. Like, what's happening here? It doesn't seem fair. It doesn't add up. So unless they have some major speech, they can't come out here and talk about, well, because this is not fair to PlayStation. PlayStation is ruling by 70%. So that eliminates that argument.
There's nothing to be fair for PlayStation at all.
It seems like discrimination. Or, they're kind
whatever
of...
the business version of that would
yes,
be.
exactly.
They're Xboxist.
Yeah. So...
playing favorites or, whatever.
Something's going on.
Whatever
Listen,
the terminology is. You guys get it.
Right now, they're saying,
you know what I'm saying.
Right now, it's like August or something that they're saying that's when they're supposed to meet, which already puts it past the June number. What I think Xbox is doing now is basically putting everything in place so that they do eventually get this consent decree passed through with the FTC, where the FTC accepts one of these things with the 10-year or whatever it is, and gets it done before that time. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're not going to go to court. I think the FTC is just putting up a front right now to try to show the world, like, look, we don't just let these companies do whatever they want. We monitor this stuff and we've put up a fight. And look, we got this 10 years because we did this.
We fought so hard.
Yeah, we fought so hard. So I think that's what they're doing. I think they're setting it up just to eventually give in because they know they're going to lose. And the only way that they really have to be like on Sony's ass if they let this go to court.
I'm sorry, CMoney, but this is the thing. They were very clear when they said the last time that we know that if it gets like a challenge and they rule against us, right, and it's in favor of Microsoft, we'll just overrule it, right? And then this process, they were very clear about how this process can go and how stubborn they are about it. And now seeing these numbers, this is what I'm saying. This is Microsoft's proof right here.
Yeah.
All these facts.
Numbers don't lie.
Right? Numbers don't lie.
They got the statistics. So
for them. So now this literally takes away anything that they said about this messing with the market and taking down a company. You can't, it just makes no sense. So they were very stubborn on their last speech with what they said about doing all these things. And I think this is very smart. I can only assume that this is why they are filling the grounds. Microsoft is normally not this verbal and this involved. And they, like I said, they bend a lot with things. And the way they're going about it is perfect, in my opinion.
Also, we got to remember that just recently it came out that part of the complaint that FTC said about Microsoft was that we don't care about what they say to us or what they promise us because when they bought Bethesda, they promised the EU, the European, division out there who has to approve it. They promised them that they had no intention or no reason to keep Bethesda games exclusive. And look, they're going to make Starfield exclusive. They're making Redfall exclusive. So we don't believe them. Oh my gosh.
I didn't know this. Hold on. So this even proves more to the fact that this is personal. They're very.
So it's not even against them
they're
because they
keeping
didn't do
Bethesda
it.
locked up.
Yeah,
And they're
but
like,
they're-
hey, Bethesda, you make games for us, not them. So Tokyo Ghostwire and the what do you call it, Deathloop, those were written out before they bought them. They committed to PlayStation and stuff like that. But now Bethesda is an Xbox studio. They make games for Xbox only, no exceptions, except Elder Scrolls Online support. Other than that,
Yeah, or multiplayer focused stuff. But this is the thing. So the EU came out afterwards and said, hold up. Xbox never promised us that they were going to not keep things exclusive. Matter of fact, they approved it with no concessions, meaning they approved it and said, Microsoft,
do whatever you want.
because whatever you do is not going to make competition lessen. Okay. So the FTC kind of got called out for that because they're out here, kind of putting up this facade that it was is disingenuous the way they did it. Because yes, Xbox did say that they really didn't have a reason to keep things exclusive, but once they got approved with no conditions, it's like, okay, so then yeah, of course we're gonna make our shit exclusive.
Of course, why not? And guys, come on, let's not act like it's. We're looking at what can we just scroll 286 exclusives versus 59. Are you kidding me? And we have the audacity to put a spotlight on the fact that they made some games exclusive that
they are not even released yet, by the way.
That too.
They have 0 exclusive from Bethesda yet. Not one.
This blows my mind, but this is what I'm saying. This makes me confident. I get in the fact that this is gonna be fine because there's no way that you with these facts cannot fight this.
I don't know. PlayStation acts like that. If Call of Duty's gone, they're freaking done. But obviously, so many exclusives, so many talented studios. They will be just fine without Call of Duty. They're just maybe they might lose a bit of money, but whatever. It's not gonna their company, their ecosystem's in danger.
Yeah,
they're
gonna lose money.
Developers.
They're gonna lose money, but that's competition, right? Like that's business, and you gotta adjust and do what you have to do to make that money back in the way you want to, the profits you want to see. You have to do what you have to do to get them. So I mean, look, it is what it is. Now the funny thing is the FTC is getting all big dog, right? But right now, it's almost we're actually seeing a flip a little bit with the CMA.
Okay.
So the UK district people who handle this stuff. So they were the first ones to kind of come out, talking crap, right? With
I remember, yes,
taking Sony's stance and things like that. But when they do these things, they request information from competition, like the competitors of Microsoft. Like they want people to give some input on the actual acquisition. So the CMA went ahead and they just published one of the competitors' responses. Now they didn't tell us who it was, so it could be a publisher, it could be Nintendo, it could be Steam, it could be EA, it could be anybody, Take-Two, it could be whoever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but it's a competitor. It's somebody of substance.
The competitive nature.
Yeah, exactly. So they went ahead and published this, and it's positive, which, they didn't have to publish this, right? So it's almost like they're trying to give a reason why they might approve it, right?
Yeah.
So they label the person who sent this as market participant A, right? So market participant, that means they're in the market that it can be affected by this acquisition.
Yeah, they're getting their proofs for what their decision is going to be. They're getting their papers in order, essentially.
Exactly. So I'm looking here on I don't even know what site this is, press.com. And they have a write-up on it, and they kind of summarize it. So we can go in and click here and see the whole document, but it's really long. It's something that Hogue Law on YouTube would go through. I'm sure he probably already has a video on this where he goes through each line and really points things out. We're not going to do that, but but they have a nice little write-up here where they kind of, pull some quotes. And, right here, they say in the document, aside from everything else, well, I guess you can't highlight this page. One of the things that the letter does is actually call CMA out directly.
Okay.
And they say that it's like basically reminding them that the CMA is, they're calling it to the duty of to protect the consumers, right? And not just preserving the status quo of competitors, right? So they have here a quote where it says, while several concerns have been raised, notably by Sony, the CMA's priority should be to protect consumers and not to preserve the status quo of competitors. It is understandable that Sony wants to maintain its position, given
Obviously.
the investment and energy it has put into creating it. However, the landscape is changing, given the widespread adoption of subscription services and cloud-based platforms in other industries as well. These have lowered barriers to entry, and these innovations have enabled consumers to have new ways to access and pay for content, as well as an expansion of these without sacrificing quality. Right? So they're telling them, like, listen, obviously Sony wants to keep their market dominance, right? Nobody says that Sony should say, oh, okay, Microsoft, become bigger, take my 70%, make it 50%. Or whatever.
The
Obviously,
big
Sony
question
doesn't want
here
that.
is why do they want Sony to keep that power?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the big question.
They will be protecting Sony's
Why
power.
are they protecting their power? And listen, with all these facts and all these numbers and everything, it's very clear. Like they know that we know that this isn't okay.
Oh, they know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I think that's why they're releasing this.
Yes.
Because they're acknowledging, like, okay, I know we were strong when we first came out talking hella shit, but like, this is probably not the only one they got.
No.
That's like this. This is just the only one they're publishing. And they're like, oh man, like everybody in the market is saying we're idiots.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes, we are.
all these companies are saying you guys are dum-dums. So maybe we should listen. So let's put this out there. So when we say it goes through,
Now,
nobody thinks we're dumb.
This is the
CMA's
biggest
like,
question.
listen, I want you to know this. I don't know if you know this, but you're stupid. And I don't know what else to tell you.
Exactly.
Guys, I bet you guys didn't think of this.
Yes.
They didn't mention who sent these letters, right?
Nope.
Could it have been Jim Ryan?
Oh, it was Jim Ryan. It was Jim Ryan. Yeah.
You know what's funny? It's probably his employees. They're like, all right, let me send this in real quick. I second this.
No, I'm assuming that it's somebody big enough, like a Take-Two or Ubisoft.
Oh, of course,
EA.
for them to take this into account.
Yeah, for
And
them to give a
listen,
shit.
this is a big deal, and we are seeing how PlayStation is forcing their way and how they've handled this whole situation, knowing that Activision is looking to get bought. This speaks volumes of how they use their power with these game creators, with these other companies.
Yep.
The deals that they probably make to have
put
these
pressure on them to sign these deals that purposely exclude Xbox or Game Pass.
Exactly.
Like it's wild.
Thank you.
So it continues on where now they're focusing more on the benefits for the users, right? So we believe that Microsoft wants to propagate innovation and set the pace towards subscription services and cloud gaming. It is not surprising that a technology company sees the direction in which the market is moving. Conversely, it seems that Sony is looking at the transaction from the point of view of a hardware company, without keeping in mind the future developments of the industry. Whoever wrote this is really good, right? So, another quote.
They're very insightful.
Exactly. There is no evidence to suggest that this deal will inhibit Sony or any other competitor from being able to compete in the subscription or cloud gaming market. Entry barriers are low. The market is extraordinarily dynamic, and new competition can arise through innovations and original content, all of which are good for consumers. And that's so true. Like, that's the thing that they are like trying to downplay. Dude, Fortnite was a game, okay? Was a game about building a base and
A free game.
And no.
No. It started off with
Oh,
Fortnite
did it? I
was
thought it
a
was always
game.
free.
No.
Battle Royale was an extra mode that was free.
Yeah,
but
Fortnite was a
The main
game.
game was a zombie game.
Yeah, well, it was
Ooh.
it was a fortress game. Like, you build your base, you went out during the day and scavenged for material, right? Like, you used to
Very
break trees,
Minecraft style.
get well, just like Fortnite, Fortnite with building, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was that. You would get material,
Yeah.
and then you would build your fortress, and you would prepare. Then nighttime will come, and the zombies would come,
Yeah.
and you have to kill them, right? And your fortress is
Let's
built
try to stay
protect them.
safe. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the game, and it was doing horrible. It was doing nothing. Nobody cared about it. It came and went. It was nothing. But obviously, it was still in the middle of being out, but nobody was caring. That's when PUBG came out.
I remember
And
PUBG.
PUBG was a huge hit on PC.
Killing it.
Killing it out there. And then Xbox got that exclusive. PUBG came to Xbox by itself first. So I still remember
And
seeing it.
what did we get from PUBG? For those that can't sit
Battle
there in
Royale.
front of a TV and freaking just the phone
Oh,
version.
PUBG Mobile
Oh,
too
it's
came out.
mobile. I mean, it's PUBG
Yeah.
Mobile already.
Yeah,
Cool.
so but PUBG, the problem is that when PUBG came out to console and PC, mobile already had Battle Royale games that were copying it. That's why they came with their official PUBG
Yeah.
Mobile. But either way, so PUBG came out, and I still remember seeing that letter. It's crazy that Epic put out saying, "Hey, we love PUBG. We love it so much that we decided to make a Battle Royale mode for our game, Fortnite." And it was like, holy shit, they're really going to do it. And PUBG sued them. There was a whole back and
I
forth.
was gonna say this was very like open of like, hey, we're copying you guys because
they
you guys are
don't
cool.
own
but a
it's
game
Battle Royale
mode
as a
is just a
genre.
game mode, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's why they lost. But the point is that they were
I don't
nobody.
think. By the way, I don't think they would have put out a statement like this, thinking that they can get like sued.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair,
try, though.
nowadays, if you want to make a Battle Royale game, go ahead, because that's a genre now.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
PUBG
thing.
was like
They made the genre in, there was other games similar to it, but
They made it
popularized
popular,
it. Yeah,
yeah.
they made it popular for the Battle Royale scene. And, Fortnite literally took it, but Fortnite was nothing. Literally nothing. And they blew up and became literally one of the biggest gaming properties in the world.
You know why? Because it was free. That too. Like you could download just the
Save
mode
the
if you
World.
wanted to.
The Save the World was pay. Actually, you still have to pay for that.
You could buy it.
You
if
literally
really
right now
want
the
to.
game's still there. You could still buy the Save the World mode.
Really?
Yeah, but the
They're still
but-
charging for it.
but the Battle Royale is free. But basically, they did something unique, and it came out of nowhere. And that's
Yeah.
what this is trying to say here. Like, all of these games, Rocket League, came out of nowhere. Fall Guys came out of nowhere. Now, fun fact, nobody stopped this, but the maker of Fortnite bought Rocket League. They bought
And Fall
Guys. So they own all the properties that are huge.
Now, Rocket
in
League
that world
and Fall
outside of
Guys, you have to
Minecraft.
buy them to play them. And Rocket League, even with the paywall, it still did great. Fall Guys, it was Fall Guys, but when PlayStation offered it on PS Plus, that's when it started to blow up on streaming and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So-
Yeah, Fall Guys fun.
Yeah, Fall Guys is really good. And
big
now that
games.
Epic owns them, they're getting good skins. They're getting cool stuff. It makes me want to play it.
Like Ezio from
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed was in it. 2B from Nier Automata. Shovel
I'm
Knight
still
was in
like, man, I would love to get
Can
that
play
damn
multiplayer
Sponge back, bro.
too.
Yeah, SpongeBob's
We got to do a Madman Plays, the four of us,
We should
Yeah.
do a Fall Guys. Yeah.
of Fall Guys.
For sure.
But yeah, so it's just very clear, right? Clear as day that this industry is very organic and dynamic. Like at any moment, a game could come out and just blow up. Like
Yeah.
look at EA, right? EA has Battlefield, right? And Battlefield has been around for a very long time and it can't find its groove. It
just
can't
can't.
blow up, right?
Yeah.
Call of Duty's been holding it down for a long time. But EA also purchased Respawn. Respawn were the creators of Call of Duty. Not the creators.
The developers.
But no, meaning I think Call of Duty 1 was somebody else. But the people who, well, obviously, I'm sorry, I'm losing my own train of thought. Respawn was formed from the creators of Call of Duty.
There we go.
So the Call of Duty creators left Infinity Ward and went to make their own studio, which was Respawn. So EA bought Respawn. Okay. Respawn, out of nowhere, just one day, said, hey, by the way, we made a Battle Royale game called Apex Legends.
Bro.
And it was released that day. Go download it now. Try it out. And it was
Blown
freaking
up.
fire. To this day, most hours I have in any Battle Royale game ever is in Apex Legends. Apex Legends was amazing, and it did something different. It had 3 people. You were able to point out things. That was the first time that ever was easily done in a game, where you could be like, hey, there's a bad guy over there, or go look over there, or look at this weapon here, go pick that up.
And they introduced reviving in the Battle Royale.
Yes, they introduced. They're the ones who started revivals, which Fortnite then copied. Which again, obviously, we know Fortnite loves to copy. I'm waiting for people to copy Fortnite, but apparently nobody's smart enough to do that, right? Like Fortnite gets it. They see something out there that works, they take it. Everybody else is like, oh, we gotta be different from Fortnite. No, son, you need to be Fortnite with a unique twist. That's the way it needs to work. But either way, so EA has Apex Legends, which is a strong competitor to Call of Duty and Fortnite. Even Call of Duty saw how popular the Battle Royale was and came out with Warzone. Right? So these are all modes that didn't exist out of nowhere. One day PUBG just was like, boop, we're going to make this popular, and it blew up.
Yeah.
Right? So all of these different, like, this industry, this is able to happen at any moment in time. So obviously, I just think this is nonsense that this is even an issue. It looks like CMA is going to be turning that corner and maybe put this through, which will put pressure on the FTC to take a deal, because I think CMA might take the deal and call it a day.
I think it was a lot easier to do this knowing that CMA was also on the same boat, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So once things start to shift out, I think it's going to put a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think this is all gonna play out in Xbox's favor. This is probably gonna be some epic story that one day they'll tell their grandchildren. So,
Oh my God. Then just the last thing with this particular thing is how smart Microsoft has been. They offered a 10-year, right? So now Sony's argument can't be, I'm afraid to lose Call of Duty, because we offered you 10 years. They gave it to Nintendo. They said, listen, we're not bullshitting. We offered it to Nintendo. They signed it. As soon as we get this through, development's going to start on whatever new Call of Duty games coming to Nintendo, right? Steam. They offered it to Steam. Steam doesn't want it because they trust Microsoft. So that whole thing is set. Now, the next
Steam
thing...
doesn't want to get locked down.
They don't.
They're like,
they don't
listen, we trust you. We good.
But the next thing is that Microsoft also told Sony that we can put it on PlayStation Plus. We'll put it on your Game Pass. We have it on Game Pass. We'll put it on your Game Pass. We don't care.
So I think this is
that's not good enough.
This is the bigger deal.
Well, we know there's a real reason, but go ahead.
The bigger deal is that with this whole competition thing and the 70-30%, so the biggest thing over here going on is Game Pass, right? This Call of Duty thing is never going to go overboard and, destroy PlayStation. What this is going to do, though, is obviously Xbox is going to put it in Game Pass. And what PlayStation does not want to do is start competing in this form, in this way. They don't want to do their streaming services where they throw in their games in there for the subscription price for them to. They want people to go out and buy the $70 game.
That's exactly it.
And they don't want to get into that bucket. And they know that that's the modern world. And this is going to be a shift that is going to take over, right? Yep. Like I had mentioned before, this is like the Netflix of video games, right? This is more affordable. This is better for parents with kids that want to try out all these games, and then they play it one time and then they dump it on the side. They don't touch it again. And it's like, oh, I just paid $60, $70 for this game. Never gets played.
My kids
right? Multiple games. This fixes a lot.
Yeah, it's good for low income people. It's also good for people who have the income but don't have the time. And, you go ahead, buy a game, and that puts like stress on you. Like, oh man, I just bought this game. I don't really have time to play it. Now I can sample games. I can play games however I want. It's so much better.
And how many times do we speak about the fact, obviously, there are digital games, but with that, you also have to buy the memory, right? It has to be able to hold all these games and everything,
there's,
right?
Streaming as well.
Exactly. So we talk all the time about how annoying it is to grab a Blu-ray or 4K disc and put that in, and it's so much easier to go and click and put on a movie, right? Because it's like commitment. So the same thing goes with like video games and saying, okay, I'm going to commit to play this rather than being on Game Pass and clicking on whatever you want to try.
Yeah, just like Brad Smith said, man. He said this is very similar to when Netflix was rising and Blockbuster was fighting it.
Yeah.
Microsoft is Netflix and Sony's Blockbuster. They're sitting there fighting, trying to keep the old dinosaur ways. And it's not the way. Just like this letter says, right? It's literally right there where it suggests that Sony is looking to keep it the same way. They don't want to change. They don't want to compete. And just like you said, like I said, Microsoft is being smart. They're offering Sony the cloud version. So you cannot say, oh, you're going to put it in Game Pass and my guys are going to have to pay. No. You guys don't have to pay either. Boom. PS Plus, whatever you want.
But that's why they're doing it. That's why they're doing it.
Sony doesn't want to lose the dollar
Microsoft,
for the
Xbox
sale.
knows that Sony doesn't want to do that. And that's why they're saying
exposing
here.
it.
Exactly.
They're exposing their bullshit.
In a very smart way.
Yeah. They're exposing
Good
it.
for
They're
them.
like, what is your
Good.
argument, Sony? I'm giving you the game for 10 years. I'm giving you streaming rights. I'm letting it put in PlayStation Plus. But Sony wants to sell their games. And listen, if Microsoft puts the game in PlayStation Plus, that's like Microsoft making it exclusive because Sony's going to lose all those billions of dollars from the sales of Call of Duty.
Yep.
And Microsoft, they don't care. Like they'll make it up. But Sony, they're so scared because they don't have the money. They don't have that war chest. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have that stock of money sitting there.
Well,
Just
like a
obviously,
vault,
we look at companies.
Like billions. I think aren't they like $1 trillion company or something like that?
Who?
Microsoft.
They're almost a $3 trillion company.
Really?
Yeah. So
it makes sense. They can just pour all their money into this, and they're not like losing money at all.
So this is what we're talking about when we talk about like places like HBO and like the WB. They have so much content and all this stuff. Look at the 70% and the 280 something exclusives. Yep. That doesn't mean money.
No, it doesn't mean money. Well, you gotta remember, to be fair, Microsoft doesn't have that money from games either. So they have it from all their other stuff.
Yeah, they have a bigger foundation.
And this is the thing. What Sony doesn't realize is that at the end of the day, you can't stop change. You can fight it. You can go kicking and screaming, but it's going to drag you in. And they're going to be forced to do it. And I think they know that. They're not stupid. Okay, let's give them a little credit. They're not stupid.
No, they're not. They're just trying to elongate it for as long as they possibly can.
They want to be able to sell those first-party games as long as they can.
Yes,
but they
as
know
long
it's
as they
gonna
have the
to
power to shift the narrative and like make it so that they continue to have it easy for themselves, then they're going to continue to do that. You got to be an idiot not to.
So this is the thing. They know what the. I don't trust this. What's happening here?
I don't know. Like God of War, I don't know. The things that they have, the first parties that they could be jerks and charge as much as they want. People are gonna buy them because they are the beast when it comes to first party games. And Xbox games, I guarantee you, they probably don't sell as great because Game Pass is such an obvious option, and it's almost stupid not to get Game Pass at that point if you're into those exclusives. So they are just getting their games through Game Pass. And PlayStation, they're selling much better when it comes to first parties because there's no streaming option like that. But I think that when you take that away, To be fair, I don't think Sony can like take that. Like they can't just keep making those consoles and have like all our games are streaming and make significantly less money. But Xbox is Xbox. They'll make money off of Windows too, and they have all these divisions. Sony, PlayStation is what's keeping them afloat. So if
That's exactly what it is.
PlayStation's
the only thing they have.
That's it. They're done.
Agreed, 100%. But again,
that's why they can't lose the advantage that they have.
Know Call of Duty. They know Call of Duty is going to accelerate them having to make that change. They know they're going to have to do it. But this is the thing. They're going to have to do it anyway. Because once Xbox starts releasing all those games, aside from Call of Duty, let's say they don't get Activision. Once you got Fable, Avowed, Forza, like all these Perfect Dark, all these games that they have cooking, that's Hellblade, the new Hellblade, all this stuff, once that's going in on a consistent basis into Game Pass, there's no way that Sony is going to be able to stay and say, all right, we'll just keep selling our first party games. We're not going to put them in.
Yeah.
You're going to have to compete at some point. And they know it. It's just they're trying to prolong it as long as they possibly could. So,
but the real question is that how are they going to stay afloat if they do?
Well, because they'll realize that the subscription money is good money.
They'll probably they're going to do something. Probably going to make it a little more expensive than Game Pass or something like that. And they're going to try and use the fact that they make like maybe a $30 subscription for a month, which that would be rough, but that seems like a PlayStation thing to do.
Maybe it's possible. So, kind of going from here into the last bit of Xbox news.
Xbox juicy content.
And that is the idea that Xbox is going to be having a possible showcase planned for early 2023 with rumors kind of stating that it would be in January 2023, which is basically a way for them to try to explain why they weren't at the Game Awards, right? Because what they're saying is, like, we weren't at the Game Awards because we're going to have our own show, and we didn't want to put trailers there that we're going to put in our own show.
Yeah, exclusive for their fans. I think this was very clear when they went ahead, and obviously you guys were up in arms and kicking and screaming just like Jim Ryan, but it's obviously they normally do this, so they obviously didn't do it for a reason. So apparently they're going to have their own show, which makes complete sense as to why they weren't at the Video Game Awards parading all their stuff. They did put out a statement saying that we will have our own celebration, our own time to do this. And there you go. I think this is it.
Yeah.
You know, it's coming. And next time, you guys need to not kick and scream.
Yeah. And the reason why it's so believable at this point is that Jez Corden and Randall Thor 19, so they have a podcast called Xbox 2 Podcast. So they, on this past episode, they both spoke about the rumor that there is a show coming early 2023.
Yeah.
And the thing is that they're separate. They heard it from separate sources, meaning Jez heard it from somewhere that he, that's reliable for him. It's unverifiable, but it's a reliable source that they're going to be having some sort of event. And then Randall Thor also heard it himself. So he heard that there was an event coming up. And Aaron Greenberg, after the Game Awards, he went ahead and put out a tweet saying that there's a lot planned, that they're planning the show for 2023, that we're not going to have to wait too soon, that timing is everything. So I'm thinking Xbox is going to go in January. I think they're going to do a two major event year. So you got E3, which last E3 focused on the next 12 months. But when you think of the next 12 months, you really only think about the next 6 months, right?
Yeah.
So even though you know what's coming in 12 months, you only think about the next 6 months, what's coming by the end of the year, right? And then in January, boom, they do another conference that's focusing on the next 6 months before E3, right? So any games coming out from January to June,
pre-E3.
you put
Yeah,
a new
pre-E3,
trailer,
that's right,
you put, you make a big splash. You start doing release dates, right? Because it's coming in the next few months, so you know when it's coming.
Yeah.
You put out your release dates, you put everything out there, and then boom, come E3, now you doing the big one, right? The forward-looking one for the next 12 months, right? So the thing is that up to this point, we have a lot of the leftovers of what was already announced.
Yeah.
Right. So right now, if they do something in January, we're looking for Starfield release date. We're looking for Redfall release date. We're looking for Forza Motorsport release date. And then if there's any other bangers in there that we don't know about, that's the time to surprise us.
Surprise, yeah.
Right? Surprise. In April, you're getting this, right?
You're welcome.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I think. I think they'll switch to that 2-tier. Now, obviously, they do like the Game Awards. Like they didn't do anything new. They just did ads. They did the game, the Summer Fest, right?
Summer Games Fest.
Summer Games Fest. They did little things. They were just kind of updates to whatever they announced in June, right? At E3. They did like updates for that. And then Then you had the August one. Which one is that? Opening Night Live?
I'm trying to think.
That's the German one.
Oh, the German.
The German event. I forget.
I can't remember the name for the life of me.
Wow, I'm really blanking on their event. Well, either way, it's the one that's in August, and Jeff hosts Opening Night Live before it starts. And again, they kind of did a few things that were just kind of a callback to what was already announced in E3. Right. So that makes sense to me. You announce an E3 the next year, and then you do the established events for the rest of the year to show what's coming in that, like to elaborate more, or to give another trailer, another twist. And then in January, you do your own show for the next 6 months. What do you think about that, Doodle? You think I'm crazy, or you think it makes sense?
Nah, that makes perfect sense. I think it's very possible.
I agree, Madman. I think it makes sense. I mean, even if they weren't planning for this, they needed to calm you guys down.
Yeah.
And reel you in. So even if they weren't ready for this, they were like, just put something together. We need to do damage control right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just get it done. However, what you're saying, that'll be pretty cool.
I think so. And it'll make a cadence where you can look forward to it, right?
It will make them have control as opposed to feeling like they have to be at the mercy of these big events to showcase their games, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it last year? No, last year they weren't in there. This year they weren't in there. Was it last year? There was the E3, PlayStation kind of did their own thing or something like that. Or
PlayStation didn't do anything this year.
No.
And they had their own event last year.
Yes, the year before.
But
they
PlayStation
did their own
doesn't
thing.
do E3 anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is also, I'm sure it cost them money to go and showcase their games, right? So this is a way of keeping it in the house, you know? Also cut some expenses.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
why not do your own? If they do the Game Awards, why not do your own like little celebration for your fans? Do some giveaways while you're doing it, and
start the year off with a bang.
Yeah.
Which is
yeah.
Let's do that, right? Give us something to chew on until E3. It's not that far, right? Like if you give me something in January, and then I could wait to E3.
Yeah.
Then E3 comes, I could wait to January, right? I know what's coming, right? So they need to set that expectation, so we know. Like, hey, listen, June we talk about 12 months. January we talk about 6 months. Makes sense.
Agree.
Perfect sense.
Yeah, man. All right, well, what's the next topic, Madman?
The last topic. Let's see here. So, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 officially begins in July 2023. The first season was released back in 2020. It was a massive success. This season will cover the Kaiga Yoko and Koketsu Goku Setsu arc and the Shibuya Incident arc. which is considered by many fans to be the best arc in the whole series. So basically, this series, it took the world. It was extremely popular when it came out, and basically there was a movie as well, Jujutsu Kaisen 0. I think it was this year, maybe last year, and I think that everything like this has been super hyped. I have seen it myself.
Oh.
The story is about character Yuji Itadori as he joins a secret organization of Jujutsu sorcerers to eliminate a powerful curse named Ryomen Sukuna, who Yuji becomes a host of because I don't know. It starts where it's in a high school, and this guy joins an occult club. They investigate interesting artifacts and all these wacky stuff and whatnot. He comes across a little finger, which seems sort of relic, everything's cool and all. But it attracts a curse, which is like this giant like monster thing that only certain select people are able to see. And Megumi, who is a Jujutsu sorcerer, comes and he's like, listen, you gotta get rid of that finger. Like, whatever you do, don't eat it. Like, alright, fine. The curse is about to kill him, and basically the finger gives you the power of the curse, and he's really like, well, it's either take this or die. He eats the finger, and then he gets the power of Sukuna, who's the villain of Jujutsu Kaisen, and he becomes insanely powerful, crushes the curse effortlessly, and basically he has the choice that basically he now has to either be executed or he has to become a Jujutsu sorcerer and find the rest of Sukuna to destroy it. I don't know, that was a bit jumbled up. I was just recollecting from my mind, but
I don't know. Yeah. You did well.
It looks really good. The first season was pretty solid. It had some highs, it had some lows, but overall, it was a generally very good season. And I think season 2, I'm really excited for because the first season acted as a foundation, and I think season 2 has a lot to build off of. So I'm pretty excited for it. It started like My Hero Academia did. It started more like it was more of a basis, and I think season 2 will capitalize on it. Especially for people who read the comics, say that it gets way better. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be really good. So I'm excited for it. Yeah.
So, man, I noticed we just watched a little trailer they released.
Yeah.
And I saw the name MAPPA.
Yes. That studio did Chainsaw Man, and they're also doing the final season.
No. Give it a second. Go ahead.
What's the name of it?
What's the name?
Man?
MAPPA.
No.
Studio MAPPA. Sorry.
No.
We heard you on the last podcast.
The last podcast. How were you saying it?
Oh, sorry. Studio MAPPA.
MAPPA.
Yeah.
So they do this one too then.
Yep, they're doing it as well. They're very impressive. They do great animation, and I think that this is going to be another solid project from them. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really good. I know it will.
So he finds a finger.
Yep, a literal finger.
Okay.
And it happens to draw in a curse.
It has to be told, hey, make sure you don't eat that finger.
Think about it in you've seen Demon Slayer, how demons are like monsters and curses are the same sort of scenario.
Gotcha.
Except curses cannot be seen by just anyone, but only by people who possess the power to.
Understood.
Or sorcerers.
Now, where does this one rank for you, Madman?
In my top 10?
Yes.
It's not in my top 10, unfortunately. It did not crack it. It was, again, it was a My Hero Academia situation. My Hero Academia became one of my favorites after season 2. Jujutsu Kaisen, I liked it. I think that it was definitely overhyped because people were saying how amazing and incredible it is, and some people call it a masterpiece. It was not. But there were some really strong parts of it. It ended with a bang. It had some really good characters. It was well written. The females are definitely the best part of it, which is a first for, like, it's definitely not something you see where the guys usually take the lead in anime series. And I think that overall, it had a strong story. It definitely had some good to it, some really good stuff about it. And I think that the first season on its own is not enough. I think season 2 is going to build off of it. And supposedly season 2 realizes its full potential with the following arcs. And I think that it supposedly becomes stronger as the story goes along. Now, apparently, it draws a lot of comparisons to Naruto. But I don't know. I think Jujutsu Kaisen is really good. I'm really looking forward to season 2. I'm very excited. And MAPPA is pretty incredible. So I've seen. I really like what they do. So I'm really excited.
So man, what does this season 2 have to do to make you like it versus the first season that you didn't?
The first
really
season introduces a lot of concepts that are really cool and a lot of interesting characters. All they have to do is just keep building on it and building on the character arcs. I guess we can make a case study of My Hero Academia. The first season was kind of like like it was kind of like, okay, it's a shonen series with superheroes, and they kind of go into that a little bit. And they basically like there's All Might, and they introduce the villains and stuff like that. And it was cool. It was good. It was not it wasn't anything insane. But season 2 took the concept of what it means to really be a hero in the world and went in 110% on it. They introduced Todoroki, which is one of the characters of Fire and Ice, whose father's a number 2 hero, and shows how being a hero rips you apart from your family, and how he was one of the greatest heroes, but was very abusive towards his family, and there was a lot more to being just a hero. And it basically explores how being a hero is not just what you do, but basically how you are in the world and how you want to become. It depends on every little aspect of your life.
It's
not
who
as
you
simple
are.
as I'm a hero and I'm a villain.
Yeah.
And even later on, a lot of the villains were horribly mistreated, and they weren't even one of them were even trying to be a hero for the longest time, but society kept beating him down constantly, almost like Joker like that. He was kind of like, well, fuck you all, and just tries to now wants to destroy the society that made him kind of bad. And it's very complex when the series continues. And Jujutsu Kaisen didn't feel like it's starting that way, and it's definitely heading that direction, which has me very excited. So I think that.
So this was a manga, obviously, or are they still continuing?
Yeah, it's still going. That is kind of another part to it, but the author of the Jujutsu Kaisen series has basically confirmed that he's looking to end the series within a year. I mean, that roughly in a year, the comic will be over. And so it started off as a short story, which Jujutsu Kaisen 0 was just a short story that got really popular.
Yeah,
then
it's
they
a
made
movie,
the series.
right?
And then he renamed the story to Jujutsu Kaisen 0 to act as a prequel, even though technically it's Jujutsu Kaisen 1 and everything else is a sequel technically. So yeah. And basically, he's looking to give it a definitive conclusion by that point. So I think that, that's pretty interesting. I do want to read the comic myself, but it expands the story. But so
that's what I was thinking. Maybe the first season started off a little slow because of the comic or the manga. That it starts off a little bit more. They're trying to get you to know the characters in a little bit more of the background.
Climaxes, and the way they make their character, like one of the best character, undoubtedly in my opinion, Junpei, was unfortunately killed off pretty early, but they show that this guy.
Well, no wonder you were pissed and didn't.
Well, this guy has a knack for making such interesting characters pretty dang fast. Episodes 9 through 15 was extremely strong. Introduced the villain properly and basically explored the world of the sorcerers and basically basically established everything perfectly, even though one of the best characters was killed off in that time period. They introduced and killed off, but still left a big mark, and basically showed the action scenes are top notch with beautiful animation. Maybe not Demon Slayer quality, but it's still extremely nice, and there's a lot of good stuff in it that is exciting.
And is there a movie? I'm looking here.
Yeah, so that's where it started.
That's the next part.
No, the 0.
0, yeah, it's a prequel to the story. It follows a completely different character, a whole different batch of characters. I think maybe like one of them, Gojo, is in that one, but for the most part, it's a completely different story, completely different characters, and it's basically what happened beforehand. And I heard it's really good, and it went to theaters back in like March of I don't remember if it was this year or last year, but it was a little bit ago. And the Blu-ray release, they never confirmed it. They just said it's going straight to streaming on Crunchyroll. If you don't have Crunchyroll, you're SOL. And then I'm like, oh man, and then I've checked multiple times if the Blu-ray is ever going to come out. And I kind of just gave up on hope. I'm like, I think it's never going to happen. And Doodle pointed out to me that it was today, there was an announcement that its pre-orders are up on a Crunchyroll store for the Blu-ray release, which there's a normal Blu-ray, which is just a Blu-ray. And then there is the, hold on, what's the name of it? What's the name? I'm sorry. Hold on. There's the lenticular edition, which has special artwork and a DVD and bonus features and stuff like that. So it is happening, and it is exciting, and I'm very excited for it.
You know when it's coming out?
March 21st, 2023.
Okay, because it says here the Jujutsu Kaisen 0, the movie, will be available to watch on Crunchyroll worldwide on September 21st.
You look at an old article.
So is that already out?
That's been out. It's been out.
So you can watch the movie right now.
Yeah, if you have Crunchyroll, yes. You have to pay for it. But if you have Crunchyroll, you can watch the entire movie. We don't have Crunchyroll. So what I was waiting for is a Blu-ray release to be able to
So
see
it's
the movie.
exclusive to where?
Crunchyroll. It's a streaming service. They have a lot of.
No, I'm
anime
sorry.
that's
The
only-
movie. Is the movie going to be released for just pre-order anywhere, or is it a pre-order only through a specific retailer?
As of right now, it's on Crunchyroll. Best Buy usually has these kind of Blu-rays. So
Yeah.
it might be there. I mean, I don't even know, but yeah, I mean, they have the Blu-rays for like the show. Like you want to buy the show the show on Blu-ray, you can do that.
Like the seasons of the show.
Yeah, but they don't have the movie yet. Right now, it probably will go everywhere, but right now it's only on Crunchyroll. And the special edition, which has bonus features and stuff like that, the lenticular edition, is only on Crunchyroll. I mean, you get special artwork and a sleeve and all that nice stuff is only on their website. So yeah, this is exciting. I'm very excited, and
Awesome.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Very nice.
And that's gonna do it for our podcast. The
real
Madman
quick.
Podcast. Huh? What happened?
Real quick.
Huh?
Also, I wanted to bring up because we were talking. I don't know if you remember, My Hero Academia may
yeah.
be. They might be making a real life show.
Oh, real life? No, that's confirmed. Sorry, I didn't plan for
Live
this.
action?
I
live
heard of
action,
it, but
sorry.
Netflix bought the rights to make a live action My Hero Academia, like a
Nice.
movie, but it's live action.
That would be
And
dope.
There's word floating
they do
around
it
that they
well,
want
which
Tom
they do it
Holland
right.
to be
Pretty
Deku,
much does.
which would actually be pretty perfect.
Who would be Deku?
Tom Holland,
Dude, are you kidding
bro.
me?
He would if you watch a show and then
Man,
see how
that's
Tom Holland sounds
whitewashing,
and acts.
bro.
I
Tom
don't
Holland
know.
sounds like him. Like he would be perfect.
It
Yeah, but he-
sounds
but-
perfect to me
but you
too. I
can't-
got really excited when I heard that.
I mean,
that's who would
whitewashing's
do.
a huge no-no.
I
when
don't
it
think you
comes
can
to
do that. You
Really?
can't take an anime character and make him white.
I mean, they do that all the time. Netflix did that with Death Note. That's what's a problem.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to repeat the problem.
I don't know. Cowboy Bebop, they did the same thing. They made one of the characters black, which, I mean, that's up for debate whether it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's weird. They're supposed to be Asian, but, you know.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. You can't change.
You don't think that it will do well if they use?
I don't think they can. I don't think he would do it.
I think he would.
You know how many of these actors and actresses, like Matt Damon, he got reamed for doing that
Great Wall. or
that
something.
Great
Yes.
Wall.
The movie was great.
The movie was
though.
great, but he got reamed for it. And at the end of the day, Tom Holland's a young dude. Matt Damon, he's already done what he needed to do.
Yeah, he can do
But
whatever he wants.
Tom
essentially.
Holland can't afford to have somebody be like, make a big deal about the fact that he took this job.
Listen, Netflix has a lot of money, and they've been killing it, turning video games into series. So I am excited, just on the idea.
I mean, when it comes to anime, they have a pretty bad reputation. Like, anytime they touch it, it becomes garbage, pretty much. So I was scared when I heard this. I'm like, oh, me, they're going to ruin
The
it.
cool thing
But-
about this one though, it's like a universe like of superheroes. So it's like
It's My Hero, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, My
so
Academia.
it's like it's like a DC or a Marvel. You know what I'm saying?
No, they are
have
very
their own
similar.
characters.
I mean that it like the guy who made it, he made it because he has such a strong love for Marvel
See?
and DC. And you can see that, like in the comic, there are a lot of heroes or villains that resemble them. Like there was one called Sand Hero, which is basically just Sandman. And one of the villains twice literally just looks like a black and white Deadpool. Literally looks like him, and that's it. And like even Deku, eventually later on in the series, he gets this power called Black Whip, and he can use these whips as almost like web slings, and he can literally sling around like Spider-Man. So it's very obvious he has a love for it, and that could be pretty cool if you ask me.
yeah.
Well, that
All
is
right.
pretty awesome.
Now that is gonna be a wrap for this Madman Podcast.
It is a wrap.
guys.
This was a good one.
Yeah,
This
I think it
was
was really
great.
good.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like you go through the week and like, how much is there really to talk about? Well, apparently
have a lot
two
to
hours worth of
say.
things to say.
Dang, that's
Um,
spicy.
Yeah, I mean
We have strong opinions.
we do.
Very strong, passionately strong.
We do. And if you like those opinions, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you made it to the end of this podcast,
You're one lucky
leave
guy.
a comment. Let us know you made it to the end.
Yeah,
Tell us what
that'd
you
be
think.
nice.
It'd be nice to hear. Statistically, no one makes it to the end. So, let's see if there's anybody who does make it to the end. Drop a comment. Let us know you did. We really appreciate it. Share it out with your friends. Hit that like button. And remember, we're on our road to 350 by the end of the year. If you enjoy what we did, we appreciate hitting that subscribe button, sharing it out. Again, help us get there. We're really excited. You know, want to hit that 350 number by the end of the year. We
That's
really
right.
do. So we're pumping out a lot more content. Again, we have 3 more gameplay videos coming up real soon. We got some other podcasts that are going to be coming up. We got other gameplays we're going to be doing. We have a lot.
Some unboxings coming your way.
We got more shorts, more Amiibo videos. You know,
the more you love it, the more we'll do. So
yeah, I mean, we love it.
We do
We
so
do
much.
love it. It's nice that, you know, this equals people checking it out and liking our stuff, which is cool. But we like it for what we do, and
it's like
nice.
We have said a few times, like a time capsule of you know,
exactly,
of what we love.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it's great.
Absolutely. All right, man.
So,
man.
this does here, Mark Madman, and we'll hope to catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Mark Madman out.